There will be a photo session after the Q&A. Thus, the participant will be encouraged to turn on their camera for the session. So, let me first invite our first speaker. Our first speaker is Dr. Nur Azura Muhammad, a highly accomplished radiography educator and researcher specializing in biomedical imaging, medical physics, and radiations dosimetry. She is currently serving as a senior radiography educator at the College of Health Sciences, MSR Malaysia Medical Center, and Dr. Nur Azra holds a PhD in Applied Physics from University Putra Malaysia, UPM, a Master of Science in Radiation and Nuclear Safety from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM, and a bachelor degree in Dynasty Imaging and Radiotherapy from UKM. Her recent achievement includes winning the University Putra Malaysia Graduate Journal Paper Publication Award for 2 consecutive years, which is 2020 and 2021. Her research focused on radiation dose optimization, image quality assessment, and pediatric CT dose evaluation. Her session today is on principles of CT imaging and radiation exposure, where she will discuss the fundamentals of CT technologies and strategies for minimizing radiation dose. Please welcome Dr. Nur Azura Muhammad.
All right, thank you to Ms. Faika as our MC today. I share my slide first. All right. Okay, hi, hello, good morning, everyone. Okay, so first of all, thank you very much to MSR for having me. And I am really grateful for this opportunity to be part of this event and also to share about basic principle of CT scan with all of you. And it's a pleasure to be here. Okay. So my title of presentation today is about I need to move this one. Okay, it's about the principle of CT imaging and radiation exposure. Okay, so this is my presentation outline today. So I'll start with the introduction to CT scanning, and then followed by basic principle of CT system component, CT image, and last is a radiation dose in CT. Okay, so let's start, everyone. Okay, so this image tell the story of how CT scan evolved from a slow single slice system in 1973 to today's lightning fast, high resolution imaging. So it started with a machine that took almost 5 minutes just only for one slice. And as we know, the CT scanner was invented by Sir Godfrey Hounsfield at EMI. So the same famous company for the Beatles. Okay, and then the evolution of the CT happened. So in 1980s, CT scan was created by rotate the faster cutting scan from minute to second. Okay, and then 1990, the technology of the CT brought helical scanning, where the machine spin continuously, making imaging even quicker. And then fast forward to today, we have multi-slice CT. So this technology captured thousands of slices per second and also can create the detailed 3D images of the human body. Okay, so this revolution has made CT scan as a game changer in medicine, and also helping doctors to diagnose the trauma, heart condition, cancer, and more with the incredible precision. All right. So CT scan has evolved through 5 generations, so each improving the speed and also in terms of the image quality. So let's have a look from the first generation. Okay, so first generation, it used a pencil beam X-ray and a single detector that translate and rotate in small increments. So making scan very slow. So that's why one slice, it take almost 5 minutes. Okay, so for the first, Sir Godfrey do the test for the CT brain. So the whole procedure, it just for the 5 slice, it take almost 30 minutes. Okay, and then move to the second generation. So in this generation, it introduced a fan beam and a detector array, and then reduce the scan time with fewer rotations, and then followed by the third generation, featured a rotating fan beam and detector array and reducing scan time with a fewer rotation. Oh, sorry. And then rotating curve detector array and enabling faster full 360 rotation. Okay, and then in fourth generation, they keep rotating X-ray tube but use stationary full circular detector array and speed up the time. Okay, and then the latest generation, for the fifth generation, they start to introduce the electron beam CT with no moving part, using an electron beam to strike a stationary target and enabling ultra-fast imaging, especially for the CTA, for the cardiac studies. Okay, so the basic principle of the CT. Okay. So CT scan actually work in a 4 simple step. First, an X-ray tube rotates around the patient and shooting out a thin fan-shaped beam of X-rays. And then this ray pass through the body and are captured by the detector on the other side, so which measure how much of the radiation is absorbed by tissue. So this event we call the attenuation. Attenuation, where the different tissue in a human body, like a bone, muscle, fat, hair, it will absorb X-ray differently, and also they will create in their own variation of intensity. All right. And then the basic principle behind the CT is that the internal structure of an object can be reconstructed from multiple projection of the object. Okay, so how CT scanner takes a raw X-ray data and turn it into detailed images. When a patient is scanned, X-ray pass through their body and detect as attenuation measurements, so which are converted into digital signal. From the electrical signal, they convert to the digital signals. So these signals are sent to a computer to process them. So actually, for the image formation, it will start with the pre-processing and raw data collection, then convolution and filtering to help enhance important details, followed by back projection, which reconstruct the image slice by slice. Okay, so the final result is a numerical CT image that can be displayed on a screen and stored in a pad. So it's a step-by-step journey from scanning to image creation, also all guided by the both hardware and also the smart software in the CT. So which is, this is a part of the CT component. So before I go further to the image formation, just see the CT components. Okay. Whereas the CT components, actually they work together to capture and process cross-sectional of the body. So the main part is consists of the X-ray tube to generate X-rays, and then the collimator to shape and restrict X-ray beam, and then the detector, the crucial part of the CT component to capture and transmit X-ray and convert them into signals. Okay, and then gantry is houses a rotated X-ray and detectors, And then
He is
also we have
currently
the
serving
high
as a
voltage
senior
generator to supply
radiographer,
power to X-ray
radiography
tube,
educator
and then the slip
at the
rings
College of
to
Health
enable
Sciences
continuous rotation for
Receiver
fast
Medical
scanning,
Center,
and also
and
patient
Dr.
table
hold a
move the
publication
patient with a
award in
precision
consecutive
together with the
years, which was
X-ray tube.
2020 and
Okay, and then
2021. Her
data
research
acquisition system, which also the important system to convert the analog signal to the digital
image
data.
quality
And then
assessment,
reconstruction
and
computer to process the raw data into image. And of course, we need to have the control operator console as a control panel before and after processing, where we can adjust the CT parameter here, and also for the after do the procedure. So we and also for the image viewing. Okay, and then CT components also linked together with the PACS, picture archiving computer system, to store and share image electronically. All right. So this is the internal components of the gantry. Here is a X-ray tube. And then this is filters, collimators, X-ray tube heat exchanger. Okay, and then we have the high voltage generator. Okay, so first of all, this is a direct drive gantry motor, and then rotation control unit. This one is a DAS, the data acquisition system that connect with the computer, and detector here, slip ring, and detector temperature, and it's a high voltage generator, and also this one is a power unit. Okay, so I want to highlight the important part for the image formation is a detector. Okay, so for the CT, actually, we have two type of the detector. First is a xenon gas detector, and second is a solid state crystal detector. So let's have a look one by one. All right, so for the xenon gas detector, the principle, the xenon gas is enclosed in detector chambers, and then the X-ray ionize the gas to produce an electrical current, and the amount of ionization is proportional to the X-ray intensity. So this image shows the X-ray photon. We enter the detector, and inside the detector is a xenon gas. So when X-ray hit the gas, they ionize, and it will kick the electron out, and then the electron move toward the anodes, and the positive ion move toward the cathode. So this movement create an electrical signal which tell the system how much X-ray hit the detector. And the advantage of this type of detector is a high stability and durability, less afterglow, and faster in response, and then less scatter radiation due to directional sensitivity. But the disadvantage is very low detection efficiency, is just about 50 to 60%. So cannot be used in multi-row detector, so very limited to the single slide, just limited to the single slide CT, and require high pressure gas chamber. So that's why this type of detector just only used in the early single slide CT scanner, and no longer common use in modern CT system. All right, so we move to the second detector. It's a solid state crystal detector. So the principle is a X-ray strike scintillator material, which convert them into the visible light, and then the photodiode detect this light and convert it into an electrical signal. So the intensity of the signal correspond to the X-ray attenuation. Okay, so the detector elements here can detect the X-ray that's passed through the patient, and this circuit board is where the detector elements are mounted, and it will process the electrical signal from the photodiode. All right, so the advantage of this detector is high detection efficiency, is almost 99%, and also lower dose required, and work with a multi-row detector array used in multi-slice and cone beam CT, and faster response, suitable for helical and dynamic scanning. But they also have the disadvantage, and slight afterglow residual light signal, and more sensitive to temperature changes. Okay, so this type of detector were are used in a modern multi-site CT scanner nowadays, and also used in a cone beam CT, and also for the spectral CT. Okay, so this is the common scintillator material used today. Consists of the gadolinium oxysulfide. The characteristic is a high X-ray absorption and used in a low dose system. And then second is a cadmium tungstate, high detection efficiency and low afterglow. And last is a ceramic based detector. This one is high durability and used in the latest multi-CT. All right. Okay, so next we move to the image formation, which is this part is a crucial part actually for the CT. And then in this part, we will touch about the DAS, data acquisition system, and then the DAS method. We have about 3 to 4 method, and image reconstruction and also image display. All right. Okay, so data acquisition system in CT is like the scanner's translator, where it that turns X-ray signal into the data computer that can understand. So when X-ray pass through the body, they hit the detector that generate tiny electrical signal. So the DAS take this signal and amplifies them and cleans them up and convert from the analog or continuous signal into the digital data, from the continuous signal into the numbers. Okay, so this digital data is then sent to the CT computer for image processing. Okay, so in short, we can say that DAS plays a crucial role in capturing, processing, and transferring accurate information quickly and efficiently so that high quality CT image can be formed. All right, and then we move to the data acquisition method. They have a 4 method. First is axial scanning, step and shoot. So this method thinking like taking a photo and moving a bit, then taking another photo. So the machine scan one slice, stop, then move and scan again. So it's slower but give a precise image. Okay, and then the next method is a helical or spiral scanning. So here the patient move continuously through the scanner, and then the X-ray tube will spin around them. So this will create a spiral path like slicing a spiral ham, and faster than, of course, the faster than step and shoot. And also this method are good for the 3D images. Okay, then next is a multi-slice CT. This is like a helical scanning, but with a multiple rows of cameras, and it captures many slices at once, so it super fast and give more detail in terms of the images, and it's great for emergency scan or detailed organ imaging. Okay, and then the latest one is a CBCT, cone beam CT. Okay, this one is used mostly for dental, face and head scan. So this machine send out a cone-shaped X-ray beam and capture many images in one spin. So these are processed into 3D image of the patient head and teeth especially. All right. So the next is the next process for the image formation is image reconstruction. Okay, so image reconstruction in CT is the process of turning the raw X-ray data collected by the CT scanner into the detailed image we see on the screen. So there are 3 major classes of the reconstruction algorithm. Okay, first we call analytical algorithm, or also we call the filter back projections. Okay, so this type is thing like projecting shadows from different angle and combining them to see the full picture. And it fast and commonly used, but can make image look grainy or noisy, the advantages, especially with a low dose scan. Okay, this method actually no fancy trick here. It's just a straight up mathematic. The analogical that I can say is like Google Translate. If you want to translate our language for example, from Bahasa to the English and English also, the very straightforward mathematics like that. Okay. And then another reconstruction algorithm we call hybrid algorithm is a statistical iterative reconstruction. So this one start with also with the raw data and then cleans it up in the steps and removing noise and improving clarity. It's like we editing the photo using filters again and again until it looks just right. Okay, this method still combine or mix with the old school FBP, filter back projection, with a smart correction. That's why we call that hybrid. Okay, last is a iterative algorithm, model-based iterative reconstruction. So this is the smartest and cleanest way, and it simulates how X-ray should behave using a model, then keep adjusting the image until everything matches perfectly. So think of it like a polishing a diamond. When we do the polishing a diamond, slowly and carefully, but the results are top notch, especially for low dose scans. And best, this method best for detail and clean image, but takes more time. And of course, we need the computing power. Okay. Okay, so then Hounsfield's unit, which is a scale used in CT to measure how dense a material is inside the body. Okay. So the grayscale of the CT image, where as we know, CT image are not in color but shades of the gray. So every structures get their own Hounsfield unit or CT number. Okay, for example, air, the value of the CT number is negative 1000. This is because it absorbs little X-ray, so it can see black in the image. And then for the water, 0, the value is HU is a 0 and looks gray because this tissue absorb moderate X-ray. And then for the bone tissue, the value is plus 1000, and usually we can see white because they absorb lots of the X-ray. So knowing HU value can help the doctors to identify the different tissue and also diagnose disease and detect abnormality. So this is the scale window from the in a human body, in the tissue for the tissue in a human body. So the air, lung, fat, water, muscles of this, so they have their own CT numbers. Okay, so last for the image display is for the image formation is an image display. Okay, so after a CT scan is acquired, so the image display process is crucial for interpreting the image accurately. Okay, so the CT image display on computer monitor for interpretation. So radiologists can adjust during the image display. Radiologists, doctors or physicists can adjust the window width to adjust the contrast of the image, and also window level for the brightness, and also and to enhance the visualization of specific tissues. Okay, so during image display also, image can be viewed in axial, sagittal, or coronal plane, or reconstruct in 3D. Okay, so CT image display involve adjusting window setting and using reconstruction technique to optimize visualization of anatomical structures and aiding in accurate diagnosis without affecting radiation dose. So this is the parameter that I already mentioned just now. Okay, so this is the example of the window setting. So for the different scan type, so they have the reference of the window level and window width. So this is the roughly the setting of the window level and window width that radiologists use during display the image of the CT. Okay, last part of my presentation is radiation dose in CT. Okay, so radiation dose in CT consists of the CT dose index, dose length product DLP, effective dose, and SSTE, size specific dose estimate. Okay, so for the CTDI volume, measure radiation dose per slice, and the unit is in milligray. Also, this CT metric standardized dose measure per scan protocol. And also for the DLP is the total dose over the scan length. So the unit is milligray times cm, because due to the long axis of the patient. So that one were used to estimate the total radiation burden, and effective dose is considered tissue sensitivity to radiation. So we measure in a millisievert and compare risk across different imaging exams. And SSDE by adjusting the CTDI volume and based on the patient size. So in milligray, so this one is more accurate dose for pediatric and obese patients. Okay, so let's have a look one by one how this metric radiation dose in CT were measured. Okay, so CTDI volume. Okay, so CTDI volume starting with the CTDI weighted and defined by 1/3 of CTDI center plus 2/3 of CTDI peripheral. So how we get this value, CTDI weighted value from this event. Okay, where we use the PMMA phantom. That 130 cm is for the body, and this one, this size 16 cm is for the head. But this 60 cm of MA phantom also can be used for the pediatric body. Okay, so by inserting the pacer chamber at the peripheral hole and center hole, so we can get the result of the CTDI weighted. So the volume, the CTDI volume is defined by CTDI weighted divided by the pitch. Pitch is the ratio as the table feet per 360 degree gantry rotation to the nominal collimated beam width. So we can get the result of the CTDI volume. Okay, and then from the CTDI volume times with the length of the scan range, so we get the DLP result. Okay, and then how we calculate the effective dose. Okay, so effective dose, DLP times the coefficient factor. This one based on the anatomy and age. So this is the example that I get from the previous study. The coefficient factor based on the body region, head, neck, chest, abdomen, and pelvis. Okay, so the LP times the coefficient factor, so we can get the effective dose. Okay, so the connection between absorbed dose and effective dose, where absorbed dose is about the energy deposited in tissue, and then effective dose is about overall biological risk, accounting for where the dose is absorbed. So both are related, but effective dose help us to assess the patient risk and also to guide the radiation protection and safety. Okay, the next is a SSDE, size-specific dose estimate. Okay, so SSDE is a method used to provide a more accurate estimation of the radiation dose a patient receive during a CT scan by adjusting the standard dose based on the patient body size. So how we calculate? So this one we can get from the conversion factor from the AAPM report and times with the CTDI volume that we can get from the CT console. Okay, so before how to get this value? So we need to calculate the effective diameter of the patient first. So by get the lateral and AP diameter of the patient, so we get the effective diameter value. So the effective diameter value, we found the conversion factor from the value that we get, and then we times the CTDI volume, so we can get the result of the SSDE. So SSDE is famous nowadays among the researcher because this value is adjusted radiation dose estimate in CT scan and also offering more accurate dose assessment than CTDI volume, especially important in dose optimization and also for the patient protection. Okay, I think that's all from me. Just a basic principle and radiation dose and very, very basic. I didn't explain more because I'm afraid that there's not enough time if I explain very detailed. And I'm sure all of us already known about this, the basic principle, just want to refresh it back. Okay, so I think I go to the MC. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nazra, for your informative session. Our next speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Hanafi Ali, a leading expert in medical imaging science and radiation dose assessment. He is currently an associate professor in medical imaging at the Faculty of Medicine, Lincoln University College, Petaling Jaya, Malaysia. Dr. Hanafi holds a doctorate in health sciences, specializing in computed tomography dosimetry from the University of Sydney, a Master of Health Sciences in Magnetic Resonance Imaging, MRI, and a bachelor degree in medical imaging technology from Curtin University, Australia. Since 1999, he has served as a full-time academician at several reputable institutions, including UC Technology Mara UITM, the University of Sydney, Huayuan International University, and currently Lincoln University College. In addition to his full-time roles, he has been invited to deliver part-time lectures at approximately 6 universities across Malaysia. He has also been appointed as adjunct lecturer at Teesside University, United Kingdom. He has served as a Deputy Dean for Student Affairs at UiTM, a technical committee member for Malaysian Radiation Safety Standards, and editorial board members for International Medical Imaging Journal. His research focused on exposure index, dose reference level, and CT image optimization. Today, he will present essentials of CT image quality, parameters, and trade-off, where he will explain how imaging parameters influence image quality and radiation dose. Please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Hanafi Ali.
Thank you very much. Yes, Faika Ismail, and thank you to everybody to attending this conference webinar. And I would like to thanks also to the MSR as a host of this event and give me an opportunity to share my experience and knowledge in this field. I'm really opportunate to get this time to share with you some of my experience and whatever I have here to the Asian, the broader participants in the same topic that we discussed today. Just want to ask you, can you see my slide shared here?
Yes.
Okay, can you see that? My first slide?
Yeah, we can.
You can. Thank you. My topic today is essential of CT image quality. We discuss about parameters and trade-off of how we're going to balance between quality and radiation dose. Okay, and this is my CV. If you like to scan that, or you just put your camera there, and you can see my ORCID information there. I'm going to talk about key CT parameters, image quality, and we have to consider that as a part of our bread and butter is for radiographers doing CT examinations, and we must also know how to adopt or adapt the new technology to adjust our image quality and patient care, and of course radiation dose of the patients.
Dr. Hanafi,
Yeah.
can you show your slide with the slide presentation mode, please?
I already done that. I think maybe I use two monitor here.
Maybe that's why we only see the PowerPoint mode, not the slideshow mode here.
Can you see that?
Okay, now we see it. Okay, thank you, Doctor.
All right. That's the first one. Minimize this. Okay. Second. Okay. All right. Scan parameters, image quality in CT. Actually, we have three main factors that related to CT scan. The first factors is we call it as a primary factors, and secondary factors and other factors. This one is available everywhere in the journals, articles, or in the textbook. And for primary factors that normally radiographer can playing around is a tube current, MA, tube voltage, and scan time, pitch, and scan acquisition type. This is something like either we doing axial or helical. That's a we talk. That's what does it mean by acquisition type. And a secondary factor, sometimes we're not aware about this, but we actually deal with that in every examination, such as SFOV, DSOV, beam collimations, reconstructed slice width, reconstruction interval. This is something about the interval of that reconstruction, so that pre. And or after we get the image and a reconstruction algorithm, meaning that this one is a step-by-step what we normally do. And actually, it's we have a specific protocol for that. And once we have that two factors, then the other one is something that related to patients and equipment. The first two, patient size and patient motions, we can avoid that patient motion, but patient size, of course, we need to accept that, and we have to adjust the situation with the parameters that we have. Okay, and geometric and detector efficiency, of course, that's a normally depend on the machine that we use. So we need to know from the manual how our machine perform with related to geometry in terms of the focal size, the distance, all these things, and detectors type. Yeah, and of course the last but not least is training and experience is very important in CT scan examinations as a CT radiographers. Just go back to the basic briefly. We need to know that KBP or tube voltage is something that not give us really room for playing around. We only maybe 3 or 4 steps for CT scan. We just have that in certain way that we just look at the patient size, then we choose this and what examination that we are doing. So for example, like pediatric, then we have to use a very low, maybe 80 or 100 kVp for that, okay, for that examination. A big or obese patient, then we have to increase that 120 or 140. That's a kind of a variable, or I mean option that we have. In terms of MA, there's something good and a lot of terminology used currently. After we introduce speech, we introduce helical, we introduce something like a modulation. Yeah. With that, we sometimes call it as a effective MA or MAS effective or something like that. Okay, so that's a need to really know and understand that, then only we can communicate, or we can understand when we doing the examinations or carry out the examination with that kind of knowledge that we have. And of course, the third one is optimization image quality. Then we have to really take care of that based on the minimum requirement by the latest finding from the researcher or journals article, that we have to keep on update ourselves with what kind of image quality or noise level, SNR level that we need to know. Then only we can minimize the dose to the patients. So playing around with kVp, MA, and other primary factors really help us to optimize the image quality, yeah, and compared to the image dose, radiation dose, sorry. To discuss about that, let's say we just have numbers of terminology here. For example, we have MA, and how about MAS per rotation time, and MAS effective? Yeah, MAS effective, something that we normally use. And if we already take care, or I mean, take account of the pitch and rotation time. So something like that, okay? And that second one, we have a per tube rotations, yeah? MAS, MA per tube rotation, then we call it MAS. Then how about the MAS effective multiplied by pitch? So from there, we have to use per slide. They use the term MAS per slice or something, time per slice. And that's really must be familiarized by the radiographer. Sorry. And that's something that we have to familiar with the MAS only. Yeah, we have other terminology, but we need to know what kind of terminology or parameters call and what is referred to. Okay. And when talking about pitch, I don't know how far radiographers now familiar with this, but that is two terminology or definition about pitch. But the one that normally we do is we're talking about the table motion. Okay, here we can see that we call it W here as a width, yeah, collimation width, and D is a distance travel, and you see that D is more than the W that we have here. So we have another one here is I can't see actually S one detector collimation size. Okay. So with that, we can define that a pitch is about the table travel over the collimations. Okay, W is the whole collimation size. Okay, in that sense that we can say that if the table have bigger than collimator, then we can say that this pitch more than 1. If the treble is smaller than collimation, then we call it pitch less than 1. That will impact the radiation dose to the patient in an image quality. Before I forget, okay? If we have a pitch more than 1, we can say that we skip certain area and we can have a lower dose to the patient compared if we use one table and over collimations. If we use less, meaning that we can have higher image quality, but we put extra dose to the patients and the time become longer. Okay. Before I forget, I might repeat this later, okay? Impact of slice thickness, very important here. Then we can say that what option that we have. If we have a smaller area of anatomy, then we need a very detailed structure with less contrast. Then we have to use a smaller or slice thickness. Then the impact of that, we have to increase the exposure parameter to compensate the contrast and quality image. Yeah. And if we have a good high contrast, subject contrast, for example, or anatomy contrast, then we can use a smaller slice to get a better resolution to that, or error from the calculation of the photon of the CT. Okay. Reconstruction algorithm, we can say that this is a nowadays is very good. We have IR. Before that, we always use filter back projections. They use a filter back projection because a little bit simpler algorithm at a certain time with the capability of the computer, then we can get a very good image. Compared now, we have a very high-tech computer, CPU or processing. Then what we can do now, we can have IR, reconstruction, iterative reconstruction with a different model. If we want to very good image quality, then we can use higher model. Then we can get a better image, but a little bit longer time. However, still can be tolerated by the time consumed by that algorithm. Okay, and of course, quality and those trade-off is we have to update that based on the finding by researcher now and then. Okay, currently, then how they find it, how in specific area, anatomy part, body part, and how they're going to get that with minimum noise, very good image quality, then can provide diagnostic value for that. Then we can say that that's enough. We don't want a little bit higher than that. Just look very nice, but we expose radiation beyond the limit that we consider that is acceptable. Okay. And we now discuss to the image quality. Talking about image quality, we cannot run from this spatial resolution and contrast resolutions. And let me define that. If maybe if you know, then good. If someone that's still at the beginning of this terminology, then I just want to mention here, we have two types of spatial resolution: transaxial resolutions and Z sensitivity. Okay. If transaxial, of course, from left to side of the patients, that we normally have that side, the images. And if we talk about Z sensitivity, means the long axis of the patient from head to toe. Okay, that's something that two types of spatial resolution. Okay, spatial resolution, something that we want to see or define the sharpness of that. Okay, another contrast resolution is about that we want to compare the anatomy structure or abnormality and normal cell, yeah, in that image. And that one is something that depend on how we choose our parameters, okay? And this spatial resolution, normally we use a phantom that we can measure line pair per centimeter or per millimeter. And contrast resolution, we normally use another phantom that with a different density or Z number or something like that, so that we can see it also has a high contrast resolution or low contrast resolution. How the CT scan perform that kind of situations. All right. Here I already discussed that trans-axis resolutions across the patient and Z. You see that for trans-axis resolution, we normally have that limit 7 line pair per centimeter. For Z sensitivity, it's about 0.5 to 10 mm. Okay, this is something that standard set for that resolution. So another one that I just got it lately is about voxel resolution. Okay, this voxel resolution, something that we also need to know, and if of course the spatial resolution appear like that, we can say that this is not very good, because we learn about the metric size, pixel size, everything, but this is about voxel. We just focus straight to the diameter here with 4.4. Then we just use 4 here, means that the pixel is a little bit smaller than the feature diameter. Then what we can get is something like this. If we have a pixel size about 2 mm, we can see about different you see, like elongated, not elongated, the structure already changed from a circle here or one big dot there to square here. But if we really make it a little bit smaller or pixel, then we can get a better voxel image here. Okay, this is what we call it, voxel resolutions. And here we talk about patient dose. I just briefly here. Sometimes when we talk about millisievert, milligray, everything is very hard for us. But we compare or relatively one examination with other, and not talking about image quality. Of course, that normally as a practice we have to third quartile of the practitioner perform that acceptable image, then we can say that that is a acceptable image quality. Then, for example, if we consider that CT scan or chest X-ray about 0.02 considered as one relatively, and for head CT we can have about 4 millisievert or about 200 chest X-ray, and chest CT about 3 millisievert. Then we have about 150, and abdominal CT we have 5, about 250. So that's how we can relate that to the dose in that examination. So when we discuss about patient dose relatively, then we can see that how much radiation dose from CT scan to the chest X-ray, or we can compare to the background of radiations. So we need to balance that. Okay, I mentioned that a few times, that SNR, contrast ratio, all is a very important part that we always must aware, so that we can know what are we performing and how much that our quality of our service to the patient related to the radiation dose and image quality. I don't know if I want to mention this again or not, but this is something that very brief. Let me take about 30 seconds maybe. The first thing that we normally do in a CT scan, we call it as a absorbed dose, yeah, in gray. And this one is just something radiation that impart 2 unit mass of tissue, okay, to the patients. But if we consider that we use X-ray, then we call it as a equivalent dose, as a CV. If we know that the tissue weighting factor for the whole body total is equal to 1, then we can say that effective dose in millisievert unit. You see that the unit all change depend on what factors that we use. Yeah, first X-ray, second to the whole body, then we name it or use millisievert for that. Okay, but if we use for the population, then we use that as a millisievert. So this is a formula that I use from beginning, so it's easy to memorize, not confused. And for the beginners, especially, then we can memorize that easily. Okay, this one I got it from ICRP 90. And for those descriptors, I think Dr. Azura already mentioned that. I just want to mention here again briefly. Those descriptors for CT, first CTDI and computed tomography dose index. Before this, there's a numbers of those mentioned about CTDI 100, CTDI average, all these things, okay? But when CTDI-W, we call it weighted CTDI. This is something the CTDI when we use phantom and we average the measurement from the central and 3 or 4 other points like 12 o'clock, 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. So once we average that, we call it effective weighted CTDI. Once we have pitch into consideration, then we call it CTDI volume. Okay, so the name changed because of what we are calculate and how we get this CTDI. And to get the whole dose radiation from CT scan, we call it as a dose length product, where we multiply the milligray to the length of the distance of the table travel, okay, like centimeter, for example, in unit of centimeter. So milligray centimeter. But this one, still we cannot compare with the normal other X-rays, you know, so like radiation, fluoroscopy, all these things in millisievert. So what we have to do, I think Dr. Azura also already mentioned that we need factors. Normally we can get it from a different article journal or from European guide, something like that. The number is slightly different. Then from that factor, then we can call it as a millisievert or effective dose. Okay, and lately we have another unit, we call it SSDE, yeah, size specific dose equivalent. So, and must remember that this dose not direct from the patients. I have to stress on that. This does not come from the patient. We just compare the measurement from the phantom to the patient that we have with the parameters. That 1, 2, 3, 4 here, we base on the phantom, and SSDE, we use that for, and we add another measurement from the patient size. Yeah, so that's how we get that SSDE. How long that I have? Another Faika, how long that I have? Hello.
Hello. Sorry, doctor. Basically, we are actually quite early.
Okay.
So
How long that I need?
use has time about more than 50 minutes, but you can have more since our next speaker is actually scheduled on 11. Now
Oh,
actually about
okay.
10.
So, but down to finish, I'm only halfway.
Okay, it's okay, it's
Okay.
okay.
All right.
It's okay, Doctor.
Okay. Now we go on with it. Please let me know because if you need me to stop, just let me know. And maybe 5 minutes before the time, I can just stop at that time. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
Doctor.
you very much. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Doctor, Professor, this trade-off in city imaging can be considered if we really take care of this. I mean, to start, I mean, to accept the examination from the patient or normally from the doctors referred to the our department, medical imaging department, normally filtered by the radiologist or registrar to say yes or no to that particular examinations. And after that, then we make appointment when they can do that. And so the first gate that normally do for optimizations come from radiologists. Okay, they normally scan the request and is it possible or acceptable for the examinations. Then second, pass to radiographers. Okay, radiographers must really take care of this particular examination, especially maintain the image quality and minimize the radiation exposure. So an effective strategy for balancing of this. So that those days, when I did my research in early 2001, for example, for Malaysian populations, I got that certain kind of very large variation of exposure parameter use. And normally at that time, I think before that time too, they use whatever protocol already there. And at that time, year 2000, still they don't have CTDI appear on the console panel. I think a work committee from ACRT or from somewhere, I that suggest that we must have that CTDI and DLP for the later machine produced or city system produced. So after that, I can see CTDI, DLP appear when we choose the exposure parameters. So that's a very good development. And since last 10, 14 years of the, 10, 15 years of time, okay? And that's something that those days people, I mean, radiographers have difficulty to about this balancing or about the trade-off, yeah, about the parameters and patient dose. They just recall the protocol and start the examination, okay? And here, city image quality. I'm going to discuss about resolution, noise, and contrast. That's something very important. Three descriptors in city image quality. These are something, the image, we can see that's a little bit different in terms of quality. Of course, if I want to ask face-to-face much easier, but is this one online hard to communicate or two-way communication. But I just go through with this. And you can see that blurring and image quality very low. To the left side, you can see my laser moving around here. This is because of the smoothing, yeah, brain smoothing. Actually, we need for bone algorithm. Then we change to age enhancement. We can see very nice contrast, high contrast between this one's gas and bone setting there and outline of the bone nicely there. But we, of course, we cannot see the soft tissue the contrast there because we use a different algorithm. Okay, and that's something that just to discuss. Okay. And first, I would like to discuss about resolutions. And resolutions, briefly, we can say that this is the image of the object, and what we have the detector here. You see that the object or all the same. We have side A and B here, left side and right side, but we have different detectors here. Then a very good detector on the right side with a smaller size of detector. We can see that the image display most accurate on the right side, but the left side is something merged there, like elliptical there, and this is something contribute to the unsharpness of the image. So based on that detector there. So I'm not go through these all parameters, but we need to know that this is a scanner factors, something like focal size or this thing, and detector size. But scan parameters normally we can we have option to choose that. Okay, number reconstruction file, F or V, frequency. Okay. And but must remember that these resolutions are not affected by tube current and tube voltage. For transaxial resolution, remember that transaxial means across. From left lateral to lateral. Okay, for the along that axis, we can have this something that we must have we must remember that affected by detector size, thickness, overlapping sampling, and focal size focus. So in these situations that we have to use smaller size. So if we use smaller the size, greater the noise. So remember that. So we need to improve by increase the slice thickness. So less the partial volume artifact, but this volume artifact will reduce. So which one you going to choose? Then you have to consider and learn from a journal article or latest current research from researcher. Okay, and second, first contrast, second noise. Then noise, of course, is something that exists everywhere. And we can say that this noise, if we have a photon less than what we need to penetrate the matters, then we can have like noise, quantum noise will appear. Okay. Normally noise, we call it also as a standard deviation. So this is the image that we have, and these are the photon that are detected, and we can see the detected something that we can see the contrast there. Okay, the level of noise there. Contrast here, let's say we can say that the first thing is noise. If we have higher noise, the contrast will reduce. If we use tube current, higher tube current, then we get better image quality, lesser noise, but radiation to the patient will increase. Inherent tissue properties, meaning that anatomic contrast or inherent contrast, or we call it the contrast between two structure or part in a patient. Okay, beam kilovoltage, of course, the higher the beam will get reduce the contrast. Remember that photon electric and Compton effect and photoelectric. So we need that. But in CT scan, we cannot compare exactly the same like X-ray, because we want at least the X-ray photon penetrate the matter or the structure that we want to measure. Not like X-ray, it's absorbed then appear white, gray, something like that. What we need to know, we must make sure that photon penetrate the patients and hit the detector, then give us some value. Okay, that's something that we need to do. That's why the KVP a bit high in CT scan. Another thing that we have to be aware that about contrast media in patients, how we're going to use, how how much the concentration of that contrast. Yeah, we need really study and use the optimum one. Okay, and here just go to the little bit calculation or ratio here, and effect on the radiation dose. Of course, MA will directly proportional. Increase the MA will increase the radiation dose. KVP is something about we have to calculate that a little bit, but it's contribute to, yeah. But a little bit higher KVP, more penetration, less the radiation absorbed by the patient. So consider that a lesser radiation to the patients. Yeah, that's something that we also have to consider that scattered. Yeah, if we use KVP. Yeah? Low KVP will contribute more scattered. Of course, time, yeah, directly proportional. Longer time meant longer dose. I mean, sorry, not longer dose. Higher dose. Okay, now pitch. Yeah, pitch already discussed that. First, we have to start with one. One is something that norm, okay, standard. If we increase the pitch, meaning that radiation dose will reduce, inversely proportional. Okay, if we reduce the dose, the pitch, increase the dose, because we use a smaller slice thickness. We have to scan more to the patients, then we get expose extra dose to the patients. And of course, that as a radiographers, we have to consider all these things. What case that we having now? Yeah, it's a trauma patient, pathological cases, pediatric, or something in that kind of patient, coma patient. Then you have to playing around with the parameters so that to suit. If you think that time is important now, then you have to use a higher exposure with shorter time with increase the pitch number. Let's say 1.2 to 1. Up to 1.5, you still can get a good image. Yeah, and don't use until 2, because 2 normally we use for colonoscopy examination. Yeah, we skip a lot. We not really focus on the image quality. What we want to see the differences between wall of the colon. So something like that. Okay, if pediatric, we need sedation or not, then how we're going to scan the patient based on that. Yeah. So trauma, scan time, yeah, or a kind of patients, yeah. Routine screening, something that if we want to use a metric, we want to study the cancer in the brain, for example, then we use a very nice or smaller pixels. We have to use a different parameters like we normally use. So this is something we have a routine examinations, special examination for identify cell cancer. So we can see the spike of the graph, yeah, something like that. And for screening that here, maybe we the calculus heart examination, like screening, yeah. I don't know, even either mammography also now use CT scan for screening or not. But definitely, I think they like to have MRI for that examination, yeah, screening for mammography. But like routine screening here, I can just give examples such as calcium score or BMI or osteoporosis examination. Yeah, just want to see the bone density, for example. Yeah, and parameter adjustment will must keep ongoing. Research must carried out now and then to measure what is the best. I think with the phantom, I work very close with Professor Dr. Anam from Semarang, yeah, and I think he is very good in as a medical physicist, established, and they have a lot of phantom in their department, and a lot of examinations or study being done for establish minimum image quality that acceptable for CT scan examinations. And technique for minimize artifacts. This artifact, another thing that we have to consider, and how those days we have very we have problem with the artifact. We have to adjust patient positions. That time we don't have a software to eliminate this, and nowadays we have that. But before we have that software applied, but we have to really know the few things about artifact. Okay, and here we have to optimize scanning protocol. First thing, proper patient position. And oh yeah, talking about patient position, radiation dose, modulation transfer functions. Sorry, I just to mention that I worry that I skipped that. This is very important part where when we use we not really observe that patient at the ISO center of the gantry. Yeah, we the scout view or planning view will get that image wrongly, and TCM, yeah, modulation will use that image to measure the, to modulate the MA for that examination, or KV. Yeah, so with that we have problem maybe to either expose the patient unnecessarily because positioning the patient not at the ISO center. And here, patient positioning, then advanced reconstruction algorithm, as we, I think we normally do, or we learn that from our basic degree, that we really make sure that we have to use that algorithm nicely, reconstruction algorithm. Then we have to know which particular reconstruction that we need to do. Okay. Quickly about artifact, even though I got a lot of images there, but this one is a basic one that at least we need to know. Okay. Physics-based, patient properties, scanner-based, and helical or multi-slice artifact. Okay. Quickly here, from basic physics-based, we can see normally we have this high beam hardening, we call it beam hardening. How to know that? Here we have a number of photons, we got an energy level. Once we reduce the number of photon here, number of photon what? MA, yeah, and the beam hardening, beam energy increase here, yeah, with less MA and increase the KV, then what we can see that there's a difference mean energy. With that, we can see the image something in between posterior or pit fossa there. We can see a little bit whiter from the standard one or from the normal one. So this is artifact that we can find. So this is cupping artifact due to the beam hardening. Yeah, occur with the if we have a spherical object. Quickly, here partial volume artifact. Here you can see we have a very good a part of that circle, but we can't see anything there because the photon absorbed there. Yeah, consider absorb 100% there, then we can see very white here. So the image white there. Yeah, the attenuation is very high with that kind of situations. Here with starvation, that's a good thing about starvation. So we're talking about exposure parameter. We normally can use that parameter, and nowadays we have MA modulations. So with that modulation, especially for the shoulder area, a wide area here, we can see kind of artifact there. This is can be done by two ways. First thing is a adaptive filter. Yeah, adaptive filter. Then we can have this noise reduced. Then we can see just nice there. Yeah, and the second one, we can see the automatic adjustment of the MA anterior, posterior, or laterally. So with that, we can avoid this artifact, yeah, photon starvation artifact. Metallic artifact, I think that one consider standard one. I want to do something scanner based ring artifact. This because of the detector, and spiral and multi-slice base. This one due to the cone beam that we use for multi-slice, yeah, from along the z-axis of the patient. Yeah? Then we can see the different there, yeah. So this artifact make a little bit effect on the image quality. I think the iterative reconstruction keep on going. People know better, and they use a lot of model. And another one is a hybrid one. They combine between filter back projections and iterative reconstruction to get higher image quality with lesser time frame. So that's something that we need, especially for a fluoroscopy CT, for example. Yeah, dual energy, of course, with this higher detection method, we can get a high and low contrast structure all together appear in one image, and we can detect abnormality for any specific that we normally have. And artificial intelligence, of course, now those days we have CAD or something that introduced last 10, 20 years, but now we have deep learning and AI, all these things. Please update ourselves with that. I also updating, and it's very hard to update that. We need a basic knowledge that, and we have to keep the momentum of understanding of this new terminology. And with that, I think I already discussed key CT parameters, image quality considerations, trade-off in CT imaging, advanced technique, and future trend that we're going to be discussed by the third speakers, Mr. Usino. And I think that I already covered this. And if you have any question, please send it to Secretariat, then I try to answer that. I also would like to acknowledge a number of contributors for my presentation: Radiology Cafe, Radiopedia, Donald Frey from AJR Articles, Aya Takashi, very nice Rigaku website with discuss about OBCT artifact. Yeah, Brian Net, yeah, how radiology works. I think he's one of the professor that I normally refer in from YouTube. Yeah, he's explained a very nice portion 5-10 minutes time. So we learn part by part from that. With that, I would like to thanks for your attention, and ladies and gentlemen, I pass it back to Miss
Yes, Doctor. Miss Faika, Madam Faika.
Faika. So sorry. See, now I can feel my age growing.
You know that
Thank you very much.
you still young, basically.
Oh, no. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Hanafi, for your engaging session. Now we go to our next speaker, Mr. Isnu Halim. Mr. Isnu is an esteemed clinical marketing expert and radiology application specialist with over 80 years of experience in the healthcare industries. He is currently the clinical marketing senior manager for imaging and surgery at Fujifilm Asia Pacific, where he oversees advanced imaging technologies, AI-driven solutions, and regional clinical collaborations. Mr. Isnu currently pursuing his PhD in medical imaging from UC Putra Malaysia. He has an MBA in strategic management from the International Islamic University Malaysia and a bachelor degree in dynasty imaging and radiotherapy from UKM. He has worked with global healthcare leaders, including Philips, GE Healthcare, and Siemens, and he is the founder of the Fujifilm Asia Pacific Healthcare Learning Academy, FAHLA, in 3 different countries, which is in Thailand at Mahidol University, in Malaysia, which is quite as impressive at two university, which is University Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM and University Putra Malaysia UPM, and in Philippines at University of Philippines. His expertise lies in AI-driven city innovations and clinical workflow optimization, and as well radiation dose reduction strategies. Today, he will discuss advancement in city technologies and their impact on radiation dose, and in-depth look at how emerging technologies is shaping the futures of city imaging. Please welcome Mr. Isnur Halim.
Very good morning, everyone. Thank you, Madam Faika, for such elaborate introduction of myself. Okay, let me share my screen. I hope you all can see my screen now.
Clearly, sir. We can see it.
Okay. Again, thank you to everyone. I believe you have a very busy schedule over the week and you still spend time over the weekend to learn more about city technology. And thank you to the organizer, all the above mentioned organizers for inviting me to be one of the speakers. Okay, my topic will be on the advancement in city technology and impact on the radiation dose. Just a little bit brief introduction about me, already mentioned by the Madam Faika. My name is Isnur Halim. I'm head of marketing division of Fujifilm Healthcare Asia Pacific, based in Singapore. I'm also the director of Fujifilm Asia Pacific Healthcare Learning Academy, where we have a few universities that have been established over the past 6 years. In 2019, we signed an MOU with Mahidol University. We established Center for Digital Imaging and Medical Imaging Informatics. Next, on the same year, we also have established Center for Advanced Breast Imaging with National University of Malaysia, which is University Kebangsaan Malaysia. And then in 2023, we signed another MOU with University Putra Malaysia, focusing on the advanced medical physics. And coming soon, which is next week, we'll be signing another MOU with University of Philippines to establish Center for Healthcare Informatics. And a little bit introduction of Fujifilm for those who are not familiar yet with Fujifilm. There's a lot of development over the past years. Fujifilm started back in 1936. You can see on my first slide, we show that we are almost 90 years old company, based in Japan. And we introduced and moved into healthcare industry back in 1936 with our film. 1983 with our computer radiography system, one of the first being commercialized. And then over the years, things changed. The demand of film has been reduced. What Fujifilm continuously maintain and sustain in the industry, we have evolved into modality companies where we have expanded into digital X-ray solution. We have expanded in X-ray system. We have ultra portable system that widely being used for TB screening, for mobile work, for home work. And then we have IVD, in vitro dry chem solution and endoscopy. And in 2022, we expand more our portfolio with acquisition of CT and MR and ultrasound business unit. So we have comprehensive workflow to say with. And then we also being one of the leader in medical IT, which our Synapse. And in 2019, where everyone is just started to have discussion on artificial intelligence, we already established our AI platform. We call it Riley. Okay, so this is how Fujifilm Healthcare is being developed and sustained until now. So the development priority here is we don't design machines. We don't design machine for the sake of what we call this for profitability or for chasing the trend and the technology. But what we are doing for Fujifilm here is we provide solution that tailor the needs of medical practice. So we focus on the solution selling instead of moving into faster advanced technology, all these things. So we focus more on provide solution. Like example, I mentioned about TB screening. We talk about lung screening, how we work with our CT and our deep learning iterative reconstruction, and others. Okay, and we have also focused in AI technology like others do. I mentioned back since 2019, our integrated AI FDR Nano, where we use for COVID screening, was first in the world. And it is proudly say it's in our region, which is in Thailand. Then after that, we have huge installation of AI for TB screening across the globe. And then last one is a continuous engagement with healthcare professional through education platform. We call it FALA, the one that we mentioned earlier. What is FALA? And later I will elaborate more. And also we have our own user meetings. So in terms of FALA, okay, I take this a little bit time for this. After this, I will jump into the topic. Just to introduce to everyone, FALA is our education platform. Okay, we want to elevate our healthcare education, and our main thing here is in the region is to close the gap between countries. We see a lot of huge gap between one country to another in terms of the radiology, what we call it practice, and then we wanted to close the gap. So we equip professional with knowledge and skill, and then because of the demand of modern healthcare. And the second one is we are not doing from our end. We work together with highly accredited top educational institution, as I mentioned, together with their faculty to come up with a structured educational module. And then last one, we also create a localized Asia-Pacific collaborative tools and also support some of the research. We have done quite a lot in terms of that. So as you can see on the bottom part, with Maido University, we focus on digital imaging and medical imaging informatics. We have, as of now, certified more than 50 PACS administrators, which is, and also huge number of digital imaging participants as well. And the progress for UKM, we have more than 1,000 healthcare professionals engaged throughout 3 years or 4 years of the establishment. And coming soon, we're going to have a professional certification, which open to the whole region to come and join in National University of Malaysia to get professional certification in breast screening. Okay, and last one, the recent one is with UPM, University Putra Malaysia. We come up with courses where we want to equip our radiographer and radiological technologies into things that encourage them to further pursue their interest in research, in collaboration, as well as also in quality control and quality QC and QA of the equipment. So this is where we come in terms of FALA. So now let's move to the topic today. I'm sorry to take some time of this. So my topic will be on the advancement in CT technology. And when we talk about advancement in CT technology, the direction is to improve image quality. Second one is patient safety, speed, and without what we call it, less focusing on diagnostic capability. So these are the things that we're going to focus in advancement in CT technology. So when we talk about advancement in CT technology, I believe you have heard from the previous speaker, there are many advancements in CT technology over the years. We talk about the latest advancement in the design of the system, of the detector system. Before this, with spectral CT, with dual source, with photon counting. But for me, I'm not going to focus on these two. So I will focus more on the others where it's widely available in our region, which is looking at the workhorse system where it's focused on the seamless workflow integrated with AI. And we look at AI enhanced image reconstruction, how it helps. We look into the intelligent dose control tools that we use to manage and control dose. We look at artifact reduction. We look at the scanner design itself, the existing workhorse scanner design itself. And then we also look at how the advancement of image post-processing workstation can assist in dose management. So here, all these contribute to a smarter dose management. So let's first look into the experience with seamless workflow, where we improve CT workflow powered by the AI technology. So these are the standard workflow when patient walk into the radiology department. So when patient walk in, enter, checking the names, the name, and then position on the patient, setting, scan, image process, table out, then doctors or red tag will look at image analysis, and patient go home. Okay, so what happened now is with the new advancement of the workflow, where all the AI or technology is integrated. You can see a lot of automation here, which improve a lot of time, and it give more time for the clinician or the radiologist or the red tech to analyze the image, and then to make it available even before the patient exit the department. So this is how the improvement in terms of workflow that you can see, not only for Fujifilm, but I believe some of other vendors has also been doing the same thing. So let's see more on this. You see there's a new additional tools in the room of CT. It is a ceiling mounted 3D camera. One single button, patient will be appropriate position inside the scanner. And then the design of Fujifilm table that we can slide left and right with huge table, we can position accurately the target area. So that's just a simple video of how this works. Okay, this is briefly what you can see in this seamless workflow with integrated AI. Auto positioning, we have a new 3D camera to detect point of human body. We have camera image is displayed on the vision, and then it's just a one button setting. For patient safety, we have all this with the guidance so that we can save a lot of things here. Save for the patient itself, make sure it's the right patient on the table. We can train the patient in like example, in breathing, so that we can acquire the image in one single acquisition. And then we can just let the system position to the target area and collimated it, okay, and so on. So this is the technology. And then, as I mentioned, with the wider bore and the lateral slide table, okay, you can position the target area so that you will not expose unnecessarily, and you are using efficient dose exposure for each target area that you wanted to see. Okay, and then the automatic position with the help of the camera, the system will look at the side, and then the margin setting, and then those are where the exposure will be targeted. Similarly, for the brain work, for head imaging, you can see the position and the site recognition, and then the workflow become more faster, okay, and it's also reduce the burden with the high speed scan capability of the scanners. Okay. So now let's move to the next one. Earlier we talked about the workflow, the integrated artificial intelligence workflow. We improve, make it more seamless, or lesser waste of time. And now we talk about the AI enhanced image reconstruction, where I mentioned Fujifilm have AI platform. We call it Riley, and the technology that make it possible. So we call it, over the years, in terms of iterative reconstruction technology or image reconstruction technology, Fujifilm introduced what they call it IPV, the Intelli IPV, where it use using machine learning, which is part of the AI technology. Okay, and then you can see this use what they call this. Iterative progressive reconstructive with visual modeling. We use visual modeling. We look at the physics model, we use object model, and we also using all the statistical model to come up with a good image quality at very low dose, while maintaining the natural image texture, which is the challenge that we have. So you can see here image noise are being reduced by 90%, and then those will be reduced almost like 83%. So this is what we can do. And this is how it being represent on a normal painting. So you can see with the older method, image, if you put so much iterative reconstruction, it looks more flat, blotchy, and it looks like a painting, a very small painting. But when you apply this smarter iterative reconstruction method, which use visual modeling, you can see that image will appear like what you will capture with a digital camera. So it's sharp, it gives shadows, it gives the real natural texture of the image. So if you look at the normalized graph here, non spectrum over the frequency, you can see how high it is with the current iterative reconstruction. You can see the graph is being shifted to the left of the lower frequency, while when you apply the Intelli IPV with visual modeling, it will mimic the similar to the quality or more better in terms of quality with the older, the earlier filter back projection with higher dose exposure. So we might able to achieve the same, but in this case, with Intelli IPV, with the powerful noise reduction method, we can what we call it achieve detailed and sharp image quality with very low dose. Okay, so this is how it looks like. In abdominal, you can see with Intelli IPV, you can still see the texture, you can see the border clearly, while when you look at the current iterative reconstruction, those that are available on most of the scanners, you will kind of struggle to look at the border and to really pinpoint, because we still sometimes need the noise, but the most important thing here, we want to keep the texture of the image. So here you can see on the brain, this is pediatric images with 1 millimeter thickness. So as you know, when we go lower into the thickness, noise level will increase. So here for lung, okay, when you apply the Intelli IPV, if you can look at the bottom part here, you can start seeing some nodules that appear. Okay. So next, okay, I have completed the image reconstructive AI integrated technology. Next, we look at intelligent dose control. So where we use dose reduction technology from the scanner to manage the dose. So we have Intelli EC plus dose control considering noise reduction by Intelli IPV. We can what we call it achieve efficient low dose scan. So this is the difference. So at 19.2, which is half of the reduction of rate that we can use with this method. Okay, this like kind of automatic exposure. And then in the cardiac imaging, we have multiple more advanced technology, but this is one that we use to highlight here is because we're able to reduce more than 68% on this scan. Okay, so you can still achieve a good sharp image quality with what we call this at a very minimal dose compared to the previous technology that are available. So when we look at artifact reduction, so here meter artifact reduction, here we use to assist on improving the image quality that appear as an output with implant inside and is what we call it overlapping with the structure that you wanted to see. So here with what we call it meter artifact reduction technology, we integrated iterative processing. Okay, we can recognize the metal, the pattern that the metal always created, and then we can still improve the image quality through artifact estimation process, and then we perform the correction processing, and then we will come up with the image. So it's a loop of continuous image processing. So the next one will be on the scanner design itself. Okay, I believe now everyone is moving into more advanced scanner. But again, you don't need to really invest into the fancy scanner for you to be able to perform what we call it high low dose techniques. Okay, you can already work with your current scanners through multiple ways. Okay, but here I would like to see that the existing the workhorse scanners have also advancement in terms of what we call it a more advanced tube assembly with more sensitive detector where we can already start eliminating electrical noise and then also manage more power consumption with more powerful reconstructor hardwares that available beside last time. If you want to perform a model-based iterative reconstruction, you need a multiple server box or server hardware, and you need to wait for minutes to get the image quality. Now to have the image out to process, now things are different. Every machine can provide you more faster, high-speed reconstruction. And then, as I mentioned, the filter, also the filter design, and then the capability of sheeting the table really sometimes can help on using the dose during the acquisition. So you can cut off those unnecessary dose through this filter, and then you can again focus on the target organ to be visualized and further come up with a better image quality. So this is some of the image that come up from the scanners, abdominal reduction of dose usage, performing lung screening tools, lung screening imaging studies, okay, at a very low dose and so on. So let's move to the last part of my sharing today, which is more on the advanced image processing, deep learning iterative reconstruction. Now it can be integrated with post-processing workstation. So it would, like I mentioned, it will not run on the separate box anymore, separate CPU or server anymore. It can be integrated into image processing workstation. So for those hospitals that what we call this having a limited budget of buying a new scanner for the sake of doing some screening work or low dose work, you can still consider of working on or exploring on image post-processing workstation. And you can see, like example, here for Fujifilm, we have Synapse 3D with more than 60 applications that you can use from the brain to chest and body. Okay, and then as you mentioned, as I mentioned, okay, this is the deep learning iterative reconstruction was previously worked on a separate server itself, and it will take some time for it to be able to process the image. But nowadays things are different. So this is the previous workflow. Image that coming from the CT we send to the 3D server. And then from there you will process. Okay, so you depend hardly 100% on the dose control and management at the scanner itself. But what we can do here is you can still perform very low dose procedure or on the CT scan during the acquisition, and at the end when you perform image processing, you can see the workstation itself has been integrated with deep learning iterative reconstructor to remove the noise from the images. Okay, and this can also improve the workflow and the quality of the output that you will have to share with the radiologists. So come up to the end of my sharing today. Okay, so the advancement in CT technology and impact on the radiation dose. I've shared about the seamless workflow, which is synergy drive in Fujifilm way of looking at it. We have the camera, the auto positioning, the single button positioning, which is powered by AI. We have enhanced image reconstruction technology, which is the IPV, and we have intelligent dose control, like I mentioned about IntelliEC, where automatic exposure according to the thickness of the body. And then we have also addressing the need of multiple exposure or to remove the artifacts that coming on the picture using meta artifact reduction software. And then we have designed a faster and robust scanner design where there's a new advanced tube being used, and then more sensitive detector being implemented. And then finally, I had talked about the advanced image post-processing, where you can start seeing a deep learning iterative reconstruction is embedded into the 3D workstation. And all of this is to achieve a smarter dose management for the patient safety, for the good output and diagnostic image quality, as well as for the speed of the what we call it study, so that you can scan more patient and you can scan patient with lower dose. So with that, I would like to thank everyone for your attention. I want to hand over this to the Madam Faika, for the next session.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Isnul, for your insightful session. Okay, it's kind of compromise everything. I think it's completed what is actually we would like to hear from the for the advancement of the CT imaging itself. Okay, so finally we're going to invite our final speaker. Our final speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Akmal Sabaruddin, a distinguished medical imaging researcher and educator at the Center for Diagnostic, Therapeutic and Investigative Studies, or CODIS, in UKM. He holds a PhD in medical imaging from Curtin University, Australia, and specialized in cardiac CT imaging, radiation dose optimization, and image quality enhancement. Dr. Akmal has published extensively in top-tier medical imaging journals on development of diagnostic reference level for CT imaging, and this is a very important part, okay? He is a council member of the Malaysian Allied Health Profession under the Ministry of Health Malaysia, where he plays a key role in shaping national policies and professional standards for allied health profession. He is also an advisor for medical imaging curriculum developments and advocate for radiation safety in clinical setting. His presentation, Role of Radiographers in Optimizing CT Protocol, will explore the evolving responsibilities of radiographers in ensuring optimized CT protocol and patient safety. Please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Akmal Sabaruddin.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman, and hello and everyone. Hello and good morning. I think it's still morning. Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank to organizing committee for giving this opportunity for me to talk and share about part of it's very important topic. It's about radiographer's role. So in optimizing CT scan protocol. So before that, allow me to share my slides. Okay. So there you go. So I hope everybody can see my slide. Okay.
Yeah, we can see it clearly, Doctor.
Okay. Okay, so thank you again. So today my topic that I want to share is about roles of radiographer in optimizing CT protocol, and has been elaborated about myself clearly by Madam Chairperson, Madam Faikah. Okay, thank you very much. And let's go to listen to this topic. Okay, so before I begin, so let me bring you a little bit about introduction. Okay, so I know it has been explained a little bit by our first speaker and then second speaker. So this is, I just touched based on this. So what is CT imaging? So as computed tomography, okay, imaging is a diagnostic technique that uses X-ray beams and computer processing to create detailed cross-sectional images of the body. So I think this is like bread and butter for radiographers nowadays, because a long time ago, this is like advanced procedure, but now everybody should know how to handle at least basic scan of CT upon graduation. Okay, unlike traditional X-ray, CT scan provide 3D representations, allowing for more precise visualization of internal organs, bones, soft tissue, and blood vessels. So this is the main important aspect, that how CT give advantage more compared to other imaging modalities. So importance of CT imaging. So we have like a few otherwise CT being created, so they can help us to make our life easier, especially for radiologists, for them to diagnose and to give provide a better diagnosis in order to get better management for the patients. Okay, so first, of course, accurate diagnosis. So which CT helps detect diseases such as cancer, infection, and internal injuries, and also provides clear images of organs, enabling early detection of abnormalities. So this is what we understand how accurate it can be. Okay, and then next, CT also can be used as emergency. So essential in trauma cases for rapid assessment in injuries such as brain hemorrhage and fractures. Okay, so any bony fractures. So we can see the details of this for further assessment and further investigation, and to help us to do management for the patient better. And also CT can use in emergency as assistance in stroke diagnosis by distinguishing between ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke. Okay, so as you know, we have like two types of stroke, whether it is ischemic, okay, or maybe it's a rupture of the blood vessels, so that what we call as hemorrhagic strokes. Okay. Another importance of CT imaging is it can be used as guidance for medical procedure. Okay, so whereby we use image-guided intervention, okay, such as biopsy. So biopsy is the most prominent medical procedure that use CT as a guide, especially at the area of lung, okay, and then drainage procedures and tumor ablation. So these are the main reason why we need CT, and CT become prominent and very important modality in this helping to guide the medical procedures. And other than that, is assist in surgical planning by providing detailed anatomical insight. Okay, because we can see the clear detail of anatomical structure, so inside our human body, so by using a CT scan. So therefore, especially when they need to do surgery, okay, for the next management of the patient. So it helps a lot on this CT. It's not only by looking at two-dimensional pictures, axial scanning, but they can develop into 3D modeling, okay, and then you can rotate and then use multiplanar reformations, okay, and you can have like all these different planes and to look the structures clearly. And then the importance of CT imaging, that we can use CT to monitor treatment progress. So this is like most one of the benefit of having CT, okay, because it tracks the effectiveness of cancer treatment like chemotherapy and radiation therapy. We want to see the growth of the tumor. We want to see the progression of our medical deliverance in terms of medication or in terms of treatment, whether it is effective or not. So if not, then they need to do like another intervention in order to ensure that the successful of the treatment for the patient. So CT helps a lot in monitoring this. And then evaluate post-surgical healing and complication. So, and because post surgical, so we can see whether, you know, there's anything abnormal inside, okay, because sometimes they could be touch wood, if medical surgical negligence, okay, could happen, that because we heard about the news, okay, a long time ago, they have like a lot of incidents, but by using CT, it can monitor whether it is like, you know, safe or not after one of the procedures being done. Okay, and then another importance of CT imaging, it is a non-invasive technique, and it is super fast. Okay, so as mentioned by a lot of speakers before, so it can get, you know, the procedure, when we see the development of CT long time ago, the first generation, so if you want to scan head scan, it takes like 5 minutes, and then now it become like 1 minute or less. Okay, so then this is why CT is very, very important in most of the radiological department. So it provides high resolution images in a matter of seconds. And then it also minimizes the need of exploratory surgeries, okay, because without CT, so then they have to do like open heart, open abdominal surgery, okay, open chest surgery, okay, they want to see everything. But with CT, it provides like a lot of information, anatomical structure, so they can see everything without doing exploration during surgery. So it saves time during surgery, and it helps a lot improve the medical aspect. Okay, and then a last importance of CT imaging, it can be used in application in various specialties. Okay, so there are more other than these four, but these four is quite common. First is neurology, so whereby the brain scan for tumor, for example, strokes, aneurysm, you just name it. So everything, every single disease that inside regarding to neurology assessment that can be done, okay, using CT, and it helps a lot on giving better diagnosis for this. And same goes to cardiology. So when we get like the advancement of CT, like starting like 16 slice, 64, and then now 640 and beyond. Okay, so you see the technological advancement is progressively change is very, very rapid. So then we can get more benefit from the technological advancement. So in cardiology, so it's been introduced about CT, coronary angiography to assess heart condition. And some of the place they use this as a screening, okay, for the patient, because with advancement that they can reduce the radiation significantly, so it will become safe to do as a screening method. And then in orthopedic, okay, so CT helps in detecting bone fractures, joint disorders, and spinal injuries, and more. Okay, it gives like a very fine fractures, okay, provide images to look into that some X-ray that cannot detect. Okay, and then in oncology cases, they use staging and monitoring of tumors. And in fact, now it's been embedded in radiotherapy treatment, where they have their own CT, they can use that as well, other than planning, so they can help in doing staging and monitoring of tumors. Okay, and then with that I can conclude about how important is CT imaging. because in modern medicine, okay, so it's very, very important and it play a crucial role in enhancing diagnostic accuracy, improving patients' outcome, and also guiding medical interventions. Okay, so with continuous advancement in technology, CT scans are becoming more efficient, safer, and increasingly essential in healthcare. So it's all about importance of the CT. And then now let's look into how are we contributing in this role, how we can play a significant role to help this come true. Okay, so when we talk about CT protocol optimization, so of course they have been highlighted why it has to be optimized, because it can, the CT protocol optimization can enhance the diagnostic accuracy, reducing patient radiation dose, and also ensuring consistency in imaging modality. But how can we do that? Okay, so let's look into it. So first, let's look into the role of radiographer in CT protocol optimization. So we see first is optimizing radiation dose for image clarity. So I think like most of us already understand ALARA principle. Okay, so applying ALARA is not only in general X-ray, but in all radiation apparatus modality. Okay, so therefore that we can show our professionalism that radiation dose, I mean like the safety of the patient is our utmost important other than providing good quality images. Okay, so ALARA principle, as low as reasonably achievable. So ensure the radiation dose is sufficient for diagnostic quality, but not excessive. And we heard before about there are lots of technique to reduce radiation dose, and there are a lot of ways how to measure and monitor the dose. Okay, and then by adjusting KVP, MAS, okay, based on patient size and clinical indication, enhances contrast resolution without increasing noise. So I will explain a little bit in detail on my next point. Okay, and so but we have to understand that not fixed KVP is suit for all. Okay, because we have to, you know, understand how this principle works, and then we have to try to give the best service for our patient. So we look into the patient size, then we can regulate, we can change, we can control the KVP that will be given to the patient. Okay, and then using automatic exposure control. This also have been mentioned by previous speakers. Okay, about dynamically adjust the dose according to patient anatomy, improving image quality while reducing unnecessary radiation. Using tube current modulation is one of the example. Okay, so then we can modulate the MAS effectively. Okay, so therefore it's according to the patient size when the radiation radiation source is rotating around the patients. Okay, and then a low dose CT protocol, specialized protocol for lung cancer screening, kidney stone detection, and pediatric imaging use significantly lower doses. So this is all how we can emphasize, how we can show our professionalism by understanding how we can provide better services in optimizing radiation dose for image clarity. Okay, and then next is adjusting scan parameters. So we cannot really depending on one simple protocol. So we have to we have to provide better justification for every single patient. So the parameters can be tailored accordingly. Okay, so for example, first is lowering tube voltage, KVP. So reducing KVP from 120 to 100 KVP, definitely it gives significant impact to the patient in terms of radiation dose, radiation safety. So it decreases radiation dose while maintaining adequate contrast, especially in pediatric and vascular imaging. So there will be like no more 120 KVP for pediatrics. So there are some hospital has a very strict guideline. They only use 80 KVP, and some they say it can be 100 will be maximum. Okay, so that is very strict, that they want to show that the patient will be like in their care is always having like the best services with lower radiation. Okay, and then adjusting scanning parameters, including optimizing tube current, MAS. So adjusting MAS based on patient size, ensure that smaller patients receive a lower dose without compromising image clarity. So including that, I mean, there are a lot of tools, or maybe I can say like a lot of methods how we can monitor this radiation dose, as mentioned by previous speakers. Okay, Dr. Azura also mentioned about SSDE, okay, and others. So what you can see the difference if you adjusting all these KVP MAS, and then you can see the significant difference on this radiation dose received by the patient, okay, from your normal practice. And then using automatic exposure control, so AEC adjusts radiation dose dynamically based on body region density, reducing unnecessary exposure. Like in general X-ray, so we have our AEC, same goes to our CT scan. So that is why we have that TCM, they call it tube current modulation. So then you can regulate the dose, the current, the MAS, so according to the thickness of the patient. Okay. And then other than that, role of radiographer in CT protocol optimization is tailoring protocol for specific examination. So as I mentioned just now, so one protocol is not fixed to one condition, because you need to tailor patient's condition, the clinical background, okay, and then what the patient have. Okay, so then we can tailor-make the protocol. So we need to change accordingly. Okay, so customizing CT protocol for different body parts. Okay, for example, brain, chest, abdomen. So they are different protocols. Okay, whereby different kernel use, different algorithm has been assigned through these protocols, so it can improve clarity and detail relevant to a specific diagnosis. And then limiting scan range. Okay, so by ensuring only the necessary area is scanned, prevents excess radiation exposure to surrounding tissue. So we know that when we do scanogram, so we cannot unnecessarily expose everything. So we have to stick to the region that we want to investigate for the planning. Okay, so same goes to the actual scan. So you cannot, you know, accidentally or by intentionally scan extra range. Okay, because this is to show that your professionalism, how you uphold this to bring the patient's safety is your most priority. And then avoiding unnecessary phases, okay, because you understand that each patient has different different characteristic, different clinical background, different clinical story. And then if everything like is 4 phases, okay, but some patient is not necessarily need 4 phases, okay, you can suggest, you can discuss, it's not arguing, but discuss academically with the professionals, because normally the radiologist will give what they call it, authority, okay, it's autonomy in deciding on this based on experience and also knowledge. Okay, so eliminating redundant contrast enhanced phases. Okay, for example, unnecessary multi-phase liver scans. So reduce cumulative radiation dose. Okay, so always talk to someone. Okay, it's not like everything you do in silo. That's why one of the main important thing, we work as a team. Okay, we not work in silo. Okay, so you have to remember that. So implementing contrast enhanced CT where necessary, improve visualization of vascular structures and tumors. Okay, so then when necessary that we need contrast, and then when it is not necessary to provide contrast, okay, so then you have to understand, okay, so the topic, the nature, okay, the condition of the patient, okay, and then look into it carefully. Okay, so then this can give, this is our rules. Okay. And then another than that is utilizing iterative reconstruction technique. So this has been mentioned by, I think all speakers start to talk about iterative reconstruction. So until the last speaker, Mr. Esno Halim, already mentioned about how advancement in AI adaptation in this iterative reconstruction. So it's starting from filter back projection, so replacing traditional filter back projection, whereby iterative reconstruction can reduce noise while allowing for lower radiation doses, okay, and then at the same time give the optimal image quality. And then adjusting reconstruction algorithm, so whereby it enhances its image sharpness and reduce artifact, and also enhancing image quality at lower dose. So this iterative reconstruction algorithm, it enables radiographers to use lower MAS setting while preserving diagnostic clarity. So it's starting from simple iterative reconstruction. They have hybrid. So this have been explained by Dr. Azura at the first, from filter back projection into hybrid and then into total iterative reconstruction. And then now, after you listen to Mr. Esno Halim talk about AI integration in helping this iterative reconstruction, make them easier and providing better image quality. So whereby artificial intelligence application assists in improving image quality, allowing for further dose reduction. So all different company, different manufacturer have their own artificial intelligence, okay, applied to this iterative reconstruction. For example, Toshiba, they have first, okay, GE have True Fidelity, Siemens, they're using Quantum IQ, Philips Precise Image, and also Fujifilm just now, Intelli IPV, where they are using a visual model, right? It's very, very eye-opening on this, how you can see using AI, it can help our work better. Okay. And then another parts of roles of radiographers in CT protocol optimization is proper patient positioning and shielding. Okay, so centering the patient correctly, okay, ensures optimal beam alignment, reducing the need for retakes and minimizing unnecessary dose. Because if we don't carefully put the patient correctly, definitely it leads to retakes or maybe repeat, we call it, okay? But now with AI integration, like what Philip has to offer, that they have the AI integrated, they can adjust, because I've been seeing like a lots of modality like X-ray, they have AI powered, they can adjust, you know, the Bucky accordingly, according to patients' height and so on. So same goes here. So there, I believe they have like all this manufacturing, they are, you know, trying to design, to innovate their creation. So therefore it can make life easier, because we want to, why? Because we don't want, it's not their competition, but this is for our patient safety, okay? Because they find the gap, so how they can fill in. So therefore, this is a way forward, that how we can, you know, establish our professionalism by learning all this technique, and therefore we can implement in our daily routine work. Okay, and then using radiation protection shields, okay, using bismuth or lead shield, protect sensitive organs, okay, for example, thyroid, breast, gonads, without compromising image quality. So we have like now innovation in radiation protection shields also been doing very well. Okay, they have a design like a very light version of radiation protection shield. They're not only using a plumber material, so they use other material as well, like bismuth and others. Okay, and then I think this is like almost towards the end. So the roles of radiographer in CT protocol optimization is reducing motion artifact. So how that we can do that? So definitely first is shorter scan time. Okay, so it's very, very important. Okay, then it can give like significant impact on the patient. So high speed gantry rotation, reduce motion blur, especially in cardiac and pediatric imaging, because we have to see the nature of the patient. So when as much as we can shorter the scan time. So then we have to implement, because we don't want to repeat on patient pediatric, for example, because pediatric, they have like tendency on, the dose limit. Okay, so then if we keep on repeating or radiation dose on the pediatric, so then that is not totally not acceptable, and it's not good. Okay, especially if the weaknesses come from our, like the fault come from our profession. And then proper patient positioning and immobilization. So ensure a stable scan and sharper images. So we need to ensure use all these immobilization devices. Okay, I know because when you bought the machine, so it's all everything is provided. Okay, some the hospital invests a lot, okay, to get all this immobilization, and then some hospital they ask their radiographers to create on innovation on how you can do this immobilization. Okay, because we have like a limited budget, we cannot buy. Why don't you innovate? Okay, so this ongoing practice is very good, but then if you don't use it, if you don't apply it, whatever available or existing immobilization device is just a waste. Okay, and then using breath hold techniques and verbal instruction, so it helps to reduce motion artifact in chest, abdomen scan. So it's not like not only you use the play button instruction, but you have to inform the patient earlier. Okay, so that they will be like you will be listening to this voice. Okay, and then you just follow the instruction, or in certain cases that you need to practice with the patient, because when they're doing this breath hold in supine position and standing position is two different experience. Okay, so then you need to make sure the patient is comfort, so then you can get a better product or output at the end. Okay, and then improving contrast resolution and soft tissue differentiation. So this also has been mentioned a lot by other speakers about using dual energy CT. So where it can enhance tissue characterization by capturing images at two different energy level, aiding in differentiation between normal and pathological issues. So they use like spectral imaging, for example. Okay, so then with the use of dual energy, I think like it started like 5 years ago, maybe more. Okay, so then this can help not only improve image quality, but also give significant impact on the radiation dose. And then optimize contrast injection protocol, where timing and volume. So then they have designed a lot of protocols how we can minimize, okay, the injection time, okay, the injection bolus. Okay, so they created like one shot and then they can get 3 phases, 1 shot, 2 phases. Okay, so that is very good innovation. Okay, because as long as we can optimize, okay, so the contrast injection protocol, so that it can show you how you not only sit there and just press the button, okay, but then you learn every single thing. So why is this useful, and then how you can do this better, and so on. So it improves visualization of vascular structures and organs, aiding in accurate diagnosis. And then last is advanced image processing technique. So now from previous speakers, okay, Mr. Esno Halim talk about advancement, okay, in every single items. It's not only the processing technique, okay, is about the patient positioning, image reconstruction, and everything. So now you understand that we have a lot of opportunity in there. Okay, so it's just your role is get used to it, because some of the case, okay, so they receive this information, okay, they've been training, and then they're not using it, okay, because of stick to that old protocol, because we need to change, okay, because when the technology advance, changing, and then we so do we need to change ourselves. So we need to try to accept, learn, relearn, and unlearn. Okay, unlearn what you have known before, okay, and then relearn again how this can be done, okay, and then learn a new method. Okay, so therefore we can improve and move, okay, because when you start to make changes, so it will create better impact, not only in you, in the workplace, among your peers, and also in the community that you live in. Okay, and then rules of protocol in CT protocol optimization is about standardizing and quality control of protocol. So whatever we did, okay, whatever we have invented, okay, we have been practicing. So we need to ensure the sustainability in other terms, okay, make sure that it will be always at the top quality. So how to do it? So by looking into it. So standardized protocol, so they have a standard. So ensure consistency, image quality across different patients and facilities. So it can reduce diagnostic variability, because we don't want variable a lot, okay, especially when we want to decide on one clinical procedure or maybe one the same diagnosis. Okay, and then regular quality assurance check. Okay, so where it can help to detect a deviation in CT scanner performance that may affect our image accuracy. So this is very, very important. So that quality assurance, you cannot skip it, you cannot miss it. Okay, so then you have to, because we want every single patient who comes to us receive the best of our services. So we cannot like towards the end of the day, so they just receive like, you know, whatever less energy, or maybe the balance of our energy there. No, we have to give like full 100% commitment in every single patient without a prejudice. You have to put that in mind. So, and then compliance with international imaging guideline, because there are international guidelines. For example, ICRP, International Commission of Radiological Protection, or maybe you can refer to American College of Radiology or Euratom. They have European Atomic Energy Committee. Every single professional organization, they design, they create the guideline. It's not only about the protocol, it's about everything, about the radiation safety, so about everything that you need to know, okay, as radiographers, so that to ensure the best practice in CT imaging. So therefore, we don't really hear about, or in this state, in this country, they deliver the CT radiation dose too high, and then that country not too high, very safe. You know, we don't want to have that, because we can work together. So we follow the guideline, okay, and then if it is not really good, then you can do some investigation and then try to change some protocol, okay, and then so then therefore you can be an example, the best of you, to let people learn from you. Okay, and this is the most important part. So after you do design everything, okay, you show that, oh, in my hospital radiation dose is too high. So then I did this, I did that. So what is that after that? So it's a time for you to disseminate that information, so you can share to others by using this continuous education training. I think this is some of the some of us are lacking in this, because it is good to have continuous education, that what we have today. So we update ourselves on what is the latest imaging technique that you know, I've been practicing around the world, and then what is the best solution to solve this issue, and so on. So keeping up with evolving CT technologies. How? By attending seminars, conference, and others like what we have today. Without coming here, I might not be knowing that you know, CT, we can have like AI set the patient positioning easily. Okay, so you see, from this, attending more conferences, more seminars, so it can help us to improve ourselves for our own lifelong learning. Okay, and then other than that, you can participate in professional development program, like professional courses. So we have like a lot of professional courses, professional certificate, like Fujifilm, they have advanced in learning center. They created Fahla. So into they put it like in few universities. So this is like opportunity, and what thank you, Mr. Esno, have mentioned about. We have trained more than 1,000 specialists in our UKM Fahla in breast imaging. So you see, so all this platform is a learning platform for you to update yourself. So then you can bring back to your community, to your hospital, okay, to your institutional center, okay, than to practice it new, because this is new and so on. And in fact, if you learn about something new about this advancement technology in that particular modalities, that you can recommend to your supervisor or maybe head of department on updating this machine particularly. So therefore, you play your own role in, to ensure that your compound, or I can say your city unit, so to update with the advanced technology globally. Okay, and not only that, so they have micro credential nowadays have been implemented, so you can do this micro credential. And because we have very flexible learning, so now they can have like if using that micro credential, that you can change it into the degree, okay, diploma or whatsoever. So based on the university system, how flexible they can make this education viable for everyone. Okay, and then advanced diploma, bachelor degree, master's program, doctorate degree. Okay, so learn, okay, because there's no such thing too late to learn. Okay, so always like learning every time. And then last thing is creating network. This is important. I've seen like a few questions asking about this network. Okay, because with if you get like a best network partnerships, okay, with other university, with other hospital, then you can improve your practice, you can improve yourself. Okay, so by doing research, innovation projects. So this is like a very simple thing. So for example, you apply to your institution. Okay, so you innovate something from very simple thing, immobilization device. Okay, so then you create, and then you go for you try to bring to seminar, conference, or maybe you go for competition and you win. Okay, and then you try to spread the good news on your achievement. Okay, because you need, I mean, like everybody has a right to improve themselves. Okay, so by sharing what you know, by sharing that what you are doing, so it's good for others to learn as well. Okay, so internal collaboration, for example, collaborating with radiologists, physicists, because we radiographers, we cannot work alone, okay, in silo. We have to have like many people, many different background, many different professionals in our team, so then we can move forward. Okay, and then external collaboration, so with university, with industry, other hospitals, community, so you can do that. Okay, do screening for the community, for example. Okay, learn from the community how you can improve in terms of in public health issues, how radiographers can help in those screenings. Okay, so I think with that, so I end my presentation. So these are the references, and we have Q&A, and I put it like at the end of the session. So we have after this Q&A session, and thank you. So I would like to pass back to Madam Faika. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Akmal, for your inspirations session. Okay, as Dr. Akmal said, now I invite all our speakers to join the Q&A session. Okay, as I seen here, there's a list of questions that is very interested to be covered in our Q&A session today. Okay, so for the first time, I'm going to address, this is actually the questions direct to Dr. Nur Azura. So Dr. Nur Azura, are you here? Okay, basically there is two questions directed to you. First one is actually, how do radiographers ensure consistent applications of radiation safety principles when dealing with a diverse patient demography and condition? Okay, you would like me to repeat the question?
I
Okay.
think I hear it. Okay,
Okay.
so how radiographer ensure consistent radiation safety?
Yeah,
Okay, so
especially in diverse patient demography and conditions.
all right. Okay, so nowadays, as we know, in a lot of the research, they considers the demography for the patients, and radiographer need to, I think, not just rely on the protocol from the vendors, but we as a radiographer, we need to take action regarding the modification on the CT parameter based on the patient body habitus and also age of the patient. And also we can use the radiation, protective radiation like aprons or also the sheet to cover part of the body that no need to do to imaging, like reproductive organ, to shield them from unnecessary radiation. And we also need to stay updated. By Dr. Akmal mentioned just now, we regularly go through the training, learn the best way to use the new technology and also the safest ways to do their job, making sure that we are always on top of the latest radiation safety practice. So all above what I mentioned, the key is we are always work with the word ALARA, right? As low as reasonable, achievable. So it's all about giving the necessary diagnostic information without expose the patient to more radiation than they really needs. Okay, that is my answer.
Okay. There's a very extensive answer, Dr. Nazra. Okay, I proceed to the second question. Okay, is there any commonly overlooked principles in CT imaging that radiographers should pay closer attention to in terms of in terms of controlling the dose and at the same time, basically maintaining the image quality?
Okay, so commonly overlooked principle. Okay, so even the most experienced radiographer, sometimes we miss certain things when we work with a CT scan. So a couple of areas that could we need to take important, like I mentioned just now, by modify the CT parameter, especially in terms of the tube current, tube voltage, and we can adjust to reduce radiation while still getting the diagnostic image we need when we do some modification. And the latest research that have been done, we need to, in terms of the patient positioning. So if we are not perfect position the patient, it also will contribute to the high radiation dose to the patient. And then also if we apply or give the patient with a contrast media, we need to be careful because contrast agent, as we know, help to see inside the human body, especially with a certain condition. But we need to be careful during we handle it. Okay. And then I think the patient history is a key because sometimes patient's medical history is not fully considered before a scan. So especially especially for the pregnant woman or people with a certain condition, it's really important to make sure the imaging is necessary and safe. So I think that's a little bit answer that I give because most of our speaker already, especially for Dr. Akmal just now already explained more about role of the radiographers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Noazura. Okay, so then I proceed to the question for Associate Dr. Muhammad Hanafi Ali. Okay, it seems that there is two questions also for Dr. Muhammad Hanafi. Okay, in scenario where diagnostic clarity is compromised, okay, how should radiographers adjust image parameter without increasing patient risk, especially in terms of dose? Dr. Hanafi, you can unmute your mic there. Dr. Hanafi, we can still hear you.
Alternate A, yeah.
Okay, we can hear you now.
We cannot read the question, isn't it?
Okay. You want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
My hearing.
Okay, it's okay, Doctor. Okay, in a scenario where the diagnostic clarity is compromised, okay, might be because of certain condition, because of patient situations, of the any modification techniques, okay, how should radiographers adjust image parameter without increasing patient risk, especially in terms of dose?
Mhm. Let's say if we use that parameter, we normally, let's say, we use all set of parameter, then we can get those A, for example, okay, X, okay, X. And how we're going to get that with a geriatric patient with a parameter X also, which changes parameter? Is that questions?
That is actually more or less in terms of basically they want to ask whether we as a radiographer, okay, can play a particular role in adjusting image parameter without increasing patient risk. Might be because of the dose itself, or might be because of the condition of the patient, but we want to maintain in terms of image, but adjusting a little bit of the image parameter itself.
Basically, when you change the parameters, for example, major parameter, the first factor like KVP, MSR, second, we actually increase the exposure factor. I mean the maintain the exposure factor. I mean the dose, sorry, the dose. Okay, but we have to consider other things. Okay, for example, we can scan something about 360 tube rotation. We just use less than that, maybe half, because the image can be developed with 180 degree of tube motion, tube movement. Okay, that one. Second, we call it interpolations. Yeah, interpolations like helical doing that. So for that kind, we would try to reduce dose to the patients. We can do that. We can adjust pitch first factors. So how you said that? If you said only KVP-MS change, but we can consider other things, then we can do that. For example, we make sure that patient position at the ISO center. Once we have to put that, we can use modulations, and that automatic exposure control can use that planned X-ray, AP and lateral to measure, I mean, the patient size. Then they can use that KVP, MAS appropriately so that we can really optimize. And remember here, we not only reduce dose, we want to optimize. So which one is the best for us to do? I mean, the question is really need to be, I don't know how to refine that, but this is something that I assume that the participant wants me to answer or want to know about that. We have to consider many other things. Okay, patient positions. Then we have to choose what we call it reduce the exposure factor. Sometimes we can reduce to eyes or breast. We just when the tube X-ray come to that area, we just off the X-ray tube. So using gated, yeah. So that part not exposed after they pass that part, a body part, then it can on again the X-rays. So by doing that, we can generate an image with lesser radiation to that particular part of the body. I think that's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hanafi. Okay, so
I
then as a
assume-
radiographers, we must know how to play our role in terms of balancing all the kind of
Oh yes,
parameters, right?
parameter
Okay.
are very important. The module, they must learn the manual of that system itself. What can do, what cannot do. So we try to optimize whatever the machine or the system can do so that we can responsible as a radiographer to really concern about patient dose.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, this is the second questions. Okay, what strategies, okay, as a radiographers, can use to educate other healthcare professionals, because we are dealing with other people too in hospital environment, in terms of the trade-off between image quality and radiation dose?
Education strategy. What can we do? We have to have a lot of I don't know, in Malaysia, do they practice a weekly meeting among radiographers? I don't know. I never worked as a radiographer so long, but I've been working at other university in Sydney and Perth, and we have a meeting every day. Every week. Every week, just to present our finding, our practice, and we can get comment from others. Beside the quality, like here we call it KMK, isn't it? Something like that. That one also, the KMK carried out by certain group of people, but everybody must involve. Meeting every week must be gazetted by department to be a part of activity, must be participated by all radiographers. I think one approach. Second one, of course, we must have a regular expert seminar in that department. Okay, talk about CT scan and this. What I mean is to change the attitude. Another thing, to allow the department gazette that as a routine activity or weekly activity. Also another issue that we have to allow. Okay, that's I believe that two things must be explored first, and the rest will be ongoing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, what about in your opinion in terms of inviting our other friends from other healthcare profession to join our meetings that you suggest, in weekly meeting or a monthly meeting, so that they understand what is actually what we do in matter of helping and serving the patient better? What do you think? Is it okay to invite them?
Depend on the departmental policy, my experience, when I did my research last time, I got the approval from MOH to carry out the data collections, and one of the what they call it, syarat, what they call it, syarat, the
Requirement, right?
Requirement to get approval, I must allow one of the officer to shadowing. So what I'm doing, what I do, they learn something and I explain to them. So that's one of the shadowing expert, doing that also good. Another experience that University Hospital Sedang called me or invite me to present the CT scan dose in their department meeting, so I got that session. So I got a letter, that one good enough for me to put my CV, so invited by hospital to present this topic, that's encouraging. And I hope that more people can do that, share their knowledge. And nowadays, without spend more expenses, we can just have online activity like this. So that's a very good activity that can be done, without high cost. Thank you.
Okay, this is the final question for Dr. Hanafi.
Okay,
okay. Additional question. Okay. One of our participants actually want to know, can you explain it further in terms of definition for temporal resolution in CT scan?
Oh, this one technical, right? Okay. When we talk about resolution, we have to define that one by one. Resolution means that's a sharpness, okay, the sharpness. And we can see either spatial resolution. I already discussed that is something lines. We can measure that in quality assurance. Another one is contrast resolution that we can see between tissue differences. And another one, when you ask about temporal resolution, that's the word tempo come from time. Okay, time really affects us. That resolution based on time, and where did we apply that? We apply that in, for example, fluoroscopy. We need a very short time. Yeah, cardiac imaging, fluoroscopy imaging. Then that high temporal resolution must be there. So if not, we can see a lot of blurring. So we have to find a factor to reduce that blurring, and with a shorter time. For example, the easiest one we use Getter, and we have to use high technical image processing, and we have to use sequence so that which slide that need to be shown at the time while we do a fluoroscopy. That's what I can answer that questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Abang Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Hanafi Ali for that answer. Okay, so now there's a question for Mr. Isnul. Okay, it's all about the technology. Okay, so in your opinion, why we want to optimizing the CT protocol, how radiographers balancing the technical advancement with patient-centered care, as we know the introduction of AI, deep learning, and all that kind of advancement.
Okay, thank you, Madam Faika, for the question. I think your point is on the role of radiographer, adapting to the technology innovation and the human-centered care. Yeah, I think a radiographer play a very important role, especially to become the bridge between the both, the technological innovation and human-centered care. So I just imagine that without radiographer, everything depends on the technology itself. Even myself, I won't go to that center. So because everything depends on automation, there's no personalization. That's where radiographer play very important role. And I believe a lot of universities, educational institution has also highlighted the importance of soft skills for radiographers. And this is very important nowadays because, like I mentioned in my slide, the workflow become faster. And then there's a lot more interaction room between radiographers and the patient to make patient less anxiety, to explain what exactly the procedure is. This is very, very important. So here I can say role of a radiographer as the bridging of all this what you call it, innovation, or this AI. Yeah, it's very, very crucial. And most of the education institute, like I said, providing all the soft skills, focusing on the soft skills. Nowadays, the new generation, they might less interact between human to human, right? They like to play gadget games. When they put on the field, I'm not sure, educators, I believe you can support me on this. That will be a little bit challenging for them. And I think for us who are in this generation, we still understand and know about all this interaction, but the new generation of radiographers, this need to be exposed to them, teach them. Okay, even you have advancement in technology, you still need human to interact between human. So that's my point, the bridge. Madam Faika, I cannot hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, I tried to unmute myself just now. Okay, thank you, Mr. Isnul. Okay, I think there is a lot of questions just now, so I'm going to try to fit in everyone because there are some very interesting questions. So I'm going to proceed with this is question from Mr. Wibawo from Indonesia Society of Radiographers. Okay, so so this question is actually directed to Dr. Azura, Dr. Nafi, and also Dr. Akmal. Okay, because it's more on the research setting. Okay, so he wonders, okay, can all of speakers, okay, explain a bit in terms of your experience, especially doing a research on how you directly measure the city dose when it being utilized as a predictor for your patient dose in relation to the results, resulted clinical CT imaging quality. Okay, so there's a lot of methods, a method that you've been used, as we know, to measure dose for patients. So this one, how you directly can measure the CT dose itself in terms of the research. I think Mr. is not also involved in the CT dosimetry research, right? So all the speakers can share your experience in this kind of question. Okay, anyone is open. So maybe Dr. Akmal can share.
Maybe I can start first. Okay.
Okay.
So we talk about, because they have like a predictive dose and then they have the actual dose, because predictive dose is a dose that is already set with the certain length, okay, of the protocol. Okay, but then when we do the real, like actual acquisition, so then we might probably cut a little bit, or maybe we extend our acquisition longer. So that's why they have like differentiation. They have differences, okay, in radiation dose, and because there are lots of technique to investigate on this radiation dose. Okay, some of the researcher, they just use direct from that CPDI and then they do some calculation. So some they use TLD, okay, and then some they use a lot of other tools to measure. But then later they need to process, accordingly. So this is how has been practiced. Okay, maybe I pass to others if you want to add on.
Dr. Nazura, do you want to add something?
Okay, so for my previous study, we just get those data from the control panel in terms of the DLP and CTI volume, and to measure the absorbed dose, we cannot directly measure using the patient, right? So in my study, we use the phantom. So we put the TLD we insert the TLD into the phantom, so we can measure the specific organ dose at the human organ. So that is my experience due to how we measure the dose to the patient, and from the organ dose we can get the value of the effective dose also.
Okay. How about Dr. Nafi? You are, I think, the most experienced of all researchers here.
Don't say that. I think publication have a very limited publication, but I can share my experience here. Sorry. Those days people use a phantom and KLD to measure that we call it direct, but to the phantom, not to the patients. After that, we use AACRT, I think, AAPM method where we can use CTDI. We use CTDI because we want to know the system, the dose from the system. Different systems have different exposure, radiation dose, radiation exposure. That's why we have to use phantom. Once we have that radiations, CTDI, then only we use the parameter to make a calculation. So during my time, I use two software to measure the dose by calculations. Okay, then from that parameters, the weight of the patient, everything, the circumference, then I calculate the dose. And lately, we can have that. I think that software developed by Dr. from Semarang. What his name? Come on. I forgot his name. In my presentation, I mentioned his name, but we work together for a number of research radiation dose where we just use DICOM images, the image patient detail. We use that in fit in that software. After that, we use another software. We change patient ID with a different ID. After that, we can just do get the dose from the patient. Even SSDE also, we can get that. So that's a very, the latest information or software that I learned very useful and simple to get that research done, data collection. But I still puzzle here, directly measure. What does it mean by directly measure? Meaning that we get a radiation, a measurement from patient itself. So that's something that never been done so far. In my knowledge, yeah, CT scan normally is compare from the CTDI that read from the phantom, measured from the phantom with ionization chamber. Unless we want to use that ionization chamber, we stick to the patient, then we do CT scan. Then we compare that with the CTDI that we can have from the control panel. Then maybe the error or something that we have to have a few ionization chamber. Then we have to also measure the error while we're doing that. That's my reflect on that questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hanafi. Okay, so then we do using the software, we use direct measurement by the phantom, by the ionizing chamber. Okay, so what about Mr. Isno? Do you have something to add here from your experience?
Okay, I think from my end on the equipment itself, on the machine itself, if you need the dose, I think other topic of patient dose itself already addressed by the others speakers quite well. But if you need more in terms of those information, nowadays the equipment itself can provide such a reporting dose, and then it have that capability, and as well as there is also what we call it information system that can gather those information and provide you for research work as well. Yeah, that's on my end.
Thank you, Mr. Isno. Okay, so we go to the next question. This is actually an open question. Okay, from our panel's experience, okay, for IV contrast agent administration in CT scan, are we still implying the 4 to 6 hours fasting protocol prior to the CT scan examination? But this question did not state what kind of CT examination. Okay. Any panels want to take this question? Dr. Hanafi, you have any experience and any opinion in this question? Okay.
Very good. Yeah.
Okay. What about Dr. Kamal?
Maybe I can share something. So because there are so many, this is like a very interesting question, and it is like debatable as well, because long time ago we always like think that the fasting is required to prevent aspiration, okay, for the patient, especially when we give contrast, and then they still feel that want to throw up. Okay, so then when they are in a supine position, so it give like the condition worse when they throw up, so they can give like aspiration. So that's the main idea at the beginning. So then therefore if we give contrast, they have like metallic taste in their mouth, so then they feel nausea, they want to vomit. Okay, but if there's empty in their stomach, so definitely there's nothing coming out, so the risk of aspiration can be reduced down to 0. Okay, but according to previous studies, so then they have like one studies, if I'm not mistaken, in American College Radiology in back then in 2023. It's quite recent. So they stated that it's not recommended, okay, prolonged fasting before IV contrast administration, okay, for many patients. So except for those who have who at the high risk. Okay, so because if high risk means like patient always have like GERD, severe GERD, or maybe they have like history of aspiration, and then maybe in trauma cases, so they required around like 2 hours fasting, okay, before 2 hours fasting of solid food, okay, and then before the examination. Okay, so then so because of this, so then I think maybe they are still like hasn't come out with this guideline about the protocol of fasting, okay, so for the patient prior to this scanning. And in fact, to say that 4 to 6 hour fasting rule as a standard is not all being practiced in current clinical situation. So I think maybe I can pass around to others if they have like different view on this. Okay, so thank you.
Any panels want to add?
Yeah, I agree with Dr. Akmal's view on that. I believe that currently we have a very good contrast media. Normally we use a non-ionic contrast media, less effect on the patients, and we can use lower concentrations. And at the same time, because the software is very good, image processing very good, and we can have that image acceptable for diagnosis. And in terms of I don't know if KUB, CT KUB, for example, or CT IVU, they still need patient for abdominal clearance. And at the same time, people actually not reluctant anymore. Now everybody have insurance to pay for the cost of the examination. So I think that less cases of that fasting, unless that somebody already experienced that, because I've been so long not doing CT scan. Thank you very much. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hanafi. Now I go to the next questions. This is the new question we have received, and actually the participant have the question to Dr. Azura. Okay, so the level of radiation used in X-ray now is quite low. Okay,
Pak Ika,
yeah.
I also read this question.
Okay.
I think both question from non-name and from the Lillian. Oh, actually, just now when I talk about the
Okay.
radiation shielding, I forgot to mention specific to the pediatric. Actually, for the adult, yes, there are no issues. I'm sorry, because my field is more to the pediatric. But for the ped, actually, it still have an issues due to the optimization part. I still have a discussion from the body of the knowledge whether when we do the CT examination for the pit, especially, is it we need to apply the radiation shield to really avoid them from the extra dose. But it's still because I also do the study about the cancer risk to the pediatric patient. In 100 procedure, you still have a numbers that they are distribute to the cancer risk. Maybe I forgot to highlight regarding the specific to the pediatric patients. So thank you very much to the radiographers that highlighting this. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nazura. Okay, we now proceed to this is actually question that open to all panels, okay? It's about a challenge and collaboration between the radiographers, okay? So the first one is actually, in your opinion, how can radiographers like us across Asia establish stronger network to exchange idea and standardized protocol? I think Mr. Isnu might be more in terms of experience, in terms of collaboration itself. So, Mr. Isnu, can you give your opinion in this?
I think from my view is we have like on perspective of my experience in Fujifilm when we established FALA, Fujifilm Asia Pacific Academy, we collaborated with University Putra Malaysia, and then they run courses in dosimetry. I think level 1 or level 2 in dosimetry, topic on dose management. That is where one of the platform that you can use to share and to network and discuss. Other than that, I believe the society, regional society should play a bigger role on creating this platform. We as a coming from the vendor side like Fujifilm, we have the limitation of who we can, what we call it, support in terms of sharing the protocol and so on. It depends on the machine itself, but I believe the role can be more significant played by the regional society and the academic institution. So that's my answer for that.
Thank you, Mr. Isnu. Okay, is there any panels that want to add up?
On that one?
Okay, sure,
I love this question about international collaboration, because we in the university, so we have like a lot of association. Maybe I can share on behalf of the international collaboration. Okay, so because we have, for example, I think like most of you know about ASEAN University Network. Okay, so this is how they integrated between among all university in Southeast Asian. Sometimes they call it like ASEAN +3, ASEAN +2 means they include Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, okay, and so on. So because when we have this kind of network, like for this CPD, so then we can always have, you know, an exchange. For example, if you want to know experience from someone, radiographers from Hong Kong, so this is like the best opportunity. So because even though it is online, if it is physical, it's more sense. Okay, but if online, so organizer actually they can have, you know, they mingle in like different what they call it, group, or we call it a channel. Okay, so a split channel. So then this is like a networking engagement. So from there you can, you know each other. So maybe you can have between two hospital, one hospital in Hong Kong and one hospital in Malaysia, for example, Hospital Serdang. So they start like a small collaboration, and then when the hospital have budget, maybe they can have a mobility among these two hospitals. Let's say one staff hospital coming to Serdang, and then one staff Serdang going to, you know, the Chinese University of Hong Kong hospital. That's only for example. So they have like a lot of other mutual discussion, okay, among these partnerships, okay, because it's not only on research. So let's say you want to attach for experience, 1 day, 5 days, 3 days, whatever you name it. But if get involved with a society, because I think this society and in each country are very strong, okay, so then maybe they have like allocation, a little bit of funding on this mobility program. They encourage like all radiographers can apply, so they can send like for 3 days experience with a hospital abroad. So this kind of engagement is really, really eye-opening because other profession, they haven't done this before. If we want to proceed with this, we will be the first. But in the university sectors, this has been doing like a lot, especially for student mobility. They have experience going to here and there. But why don't we emphasize our professional, like our professions, so we can do that as well. But starting from doing this like engagement session, so we know each other, then we can promote about what do we have, what do we offer. We might practice this procedure a little bit different from what you have practiced, for example. So then in this platform, so they can have like the real, oh, you said like it's different. Can I have a look? Can I attach for 1 day, 2 days or whatever? So I think this is one of the starting point if we want to go forward. But everything is and again, so this is just a suggestion because if you don't know how to start, this is like a good platform. I think that's from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Akmal. So I move forward to the at least a few more questions. This is actually about the future focus question. Okay, so it's open to all panels. Okay. So in your opinion, Saf, okay, what roles that you see radiographers play in shaping the futures as radiographies and technologies continues to evolve? So we have AI, we have deep learning. So in terms of your experience, okay, how you see the radiographers play a role in this in the near future?
Is it for me? Sorry. Sorry, Faika, cannot hear you.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. It's okay if Dr. Akmal have something to share. Okay. Then I will let you have the section first. Okay.
Okay, so this is about how we can play our role. So of course, before we practice, we need to understand everything first. So we need to learn. So as I mentioned, so learn, relearn, and unlearn. Unlearn means like we already been learning like since our high school or maybe not our graduate program. Okay, so but then what we have learned is maybe like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe at that time CT scan only single slice. Okay, but now, so you have to unlearn that. Okay, so in order for you to learn a new one, so relearn a new one. Okay, so then this is how you can make a progress in your career pathway. Okay, so other than get to know your connection, good connection, so it's not only among your colleague, but then you can go abroad starting from outside your hospital for other hospital. Okay, so do some collaboration, so you do some talk, CME for example. Okay, and then from there, and then you can grow better. Okay, and then next level, maybe you can go international. Okay, and then actively involved in society, for example, because society will help you to to grow because there are lots of opportunity to collaborate, to create partnerships. Yeah, I think that's one of the idea that I want to share. Okay, so I pass it back to Ms. Faika.
I can add on this. Okay, I think I have mentioned this. Radiographer will be the bridge. You cannot work without radiographers. And the responsibility of radiographers, I mentioned earlier about the key things, the engagement, the personalization touch between patient. We cannot depend on the technology. Another thing, radiographer need to continue pursuing education, look into the research possibility, because without research, technology would not advance. And we need people to do that. So I believe in this region, I think we have a quite good university across the region that offer a master and PhD program, and they are willing to explore a lot of new technology in radiography. That is, I think, one of the way that radiographer can look into. So don't stop only at degree or diploma or S1 level in Indonesia. So you can continue pursue and become a research radiographer, which is, I believe Malaysia has embarked into this, and we can see a lot of good papers and output coming from there. So we wanted to see this being duplicated in other regions as well. So yeah, that's from my view.
Okay, Dr. Akmal, Dr. Azra, sorry, Dr. Azra, do you have something to add?
I just agree with the Dr. Akmal and Ms. Isno. And me as a educator for my student, I will encourage them to pursue the study from diploma, go to the degree and proceed to the master and until PhD, because it will when we reach a certain level of the education in our life itself, it will be make us as a different person. That is my point of view. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Hanaf.
Thank you. I just unmute mine. Actually, I don't know. Dr. Amal can answer this. Is there any role and responsibility of radiographers to, of course, they have to attend, like to collect CPD, but they must also have a time for them to do a certain work of these collaborations. We must have something like, let's say, weekly or every fortnight or monthly. At least they have something regular event, go on with that, and must be gazetted in their role and responsibility as a radiographer, must do that. But currently, not currently, I don't know about that. Previously, we as a radiographers know, thumb in, thumb out. After that, in between, we just do all the x-rays, doing CT scan examination, then go home. That's it. But now, if we have that, they are compulsory to carry out that responsibility for their job. And part of that, then only we can develop more responsible radiographer to improve themselves in terms of knowledge. But we know that if they not update themselves, we call it as a negligence in malpractice, in medical legal term. They still do something that they learn from their school all days. Then they have to update themselves with the knowledge, and this is the activity must be gazetted as their responsibility as a radiographers. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, maybe I can respond to that about this, because there are lots in management, they have a lot of approach. Okay, we have bottom-up approach and maybe top-down approach. But in Malaysia practice, normally we rely on top-down approach. Whatever gazetted by the government, by the ministry, and then it will run down through the radiologists, like the profession, the head of profession, and then before being implemented to others. Okay, but what I can say based on my experience and observation, so this method never changed, okay, especially in government sector, but in university sector, especially in academic. So we tried like a lot. Like last year, our ministry, it depends on the ministry themselves. So like Ministry of Higher Education, so they changed their this routinely, because in 2023 until 2024, they started bottoms up, means like they give freedom to all academic. What do you want to do? What do you think that makes you life, make you love your job? So that's why they try to be very resourceful. They connect with a lot of opportunity and like research grant, and you have to, they link with embassies and others. So if they have freedom, this sort of, because this is back again, so it based on the ministry and depends on the country how they rule their things. Okay, so if we do this, means bottoms up, means this is kind of initiative. We know that we need to comply with these CPD points. Okay, but at the same time, why don't we go beyond that? Why don't we do this? Okay, because it is just an extra effort. So it can be, if you want to gazette it, you can put it as extensive role and expanding role, okay, of radiographers. or else it's just like, you start something good and then this is bottom up approach. So you start something good like attending conference, introducing Malaysia to others, the government will see, oh, this is a good. So then we have to appreciate those radiographers who have did extra miles to bring Malaysia's up to that level. So then we have to support. So you see, this is the way how you break the bond from top down by implementing bottom up, but it has to be like a very solid plan, very solid implementation, then we can do it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Akmal. Okay, such a very informative. Okay, this is actually we already come to an end actually. Okay. So, before we conclude our session today, I welcome our respectable President T.S. Hawal Masai, okay, President of Malaysian Society of Radiographers, for the closing remarks. Okay, Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you, Ms. Faika. It is an honor to have this kind of discussion, and thank you to the CPD ASIA for giving us a chance of the organizing 47 CPD ASIA. Thank you for our good friend, Mr. Fernando Kok, Mr. Taiwan Law, and Pichi. They are the one who started the CPD ASIA, and this is a very good platform for us to discuss. And today we have our panelists from Malaysian Society of Radiographers. All they are expert on their expertise, especially Dr. Akmal, who has very experienced in the international collaboration, as well as Mr. Esdum and Dr. Hanafi with the experience, and as well as Dr. Azura. So thank you all the participants for having us today, and still stay tuned with us till the end. And again, thank you very much. And on behalf of Malaysian Society of Radiographer, thank you for the organizing committee for the CPD ASIA platform. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. T.S. Hawal Masai, for your closing remarks and your leadership for organizing this remarkable event. With that, I thank to all our esteemed speakers for the insightful and engaging discussion. Your shared expertise and perspective has truly enriched our understanding of the critical role of radiographers plays in optimizing CT exposure and image quality. We would like also to express our gratitude to all participants for your active engagement. Well, I received a lot of questions and thoughtful questions. Okay. So I also want to thank our dedicated organizing committees for their continued support for making this program a success. We hope this session has been informative for all and inspired further dialogues and collaboration in our professional practice. Okay, so as we are moving towards the conclusion for today's program, okay, so can we have a photo session so we can capture these wonderful memories with our panelists? Okay, I want to take the photos. Okay, so everyone smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, just a minute. Okay, one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Oh, such a nice smile, everyone. Okay, so as we move towards the conclusion of today's program, it is my pleasure to hand over the session to Preeti. Preeti, the floor is yours. Thank you very much, everyone.
Wow, thank you so much, Faika binti Awang Ismail. Such a very lively moderation of the session of the CPD program. Our thanks to our dear President, President Hawal Masai of Malaysian Society of Radiographers. Thank you for giving us a very interesting panel discussion with all the very good speakers, Dr. Noor Azura Muhammad, Associate Professor Dr. Maud Hanali Ali, see you soon again. Mr. Ezno Halim, I just saw him recently, last month. And to Associate Professor Dr. Akmal Sabaruddin, hope to see you also soon. We have learned so much from you, very interesting and important discussions, and we hope that we will have again another time to hear more interesting topics from you next time. Also, we appreciate the ongoing cooperation from the CPD IT team, all the presidents who have attended the program and have given their greetings to all the officers in bringing you here an interesting CPD Asia every month. And I know, as I am excited, we are all excited to hear the schedule of the next CPD Asia. I think we have here the president of Society of Radiographers of Sri Lanka, President Wimala Sena. Are you still here? All right. So if he's not here, I guess. All right. So we hope to invite you and see you again next month as the Society of Radiographers of Sri Lanka will host the 48th CPD Asia in April. That is going to be very, very soon. Please see the poster. You can make a screenshot so you can save the date. All right, so above all, of course, this will not be a successful event if not with the attendance of our new registered participants and the live audience who are in YouTube for making this online CPD Asia a very successful one. We shall see you again next CPD Asia. Once again, thank you, and meet you all again the next month. And let's embrace this opportunity to learn, to innovate, and grow together. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pichi Luna. I say thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum. Selamat Hari Raya.
Bye. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you for a very good program.
See you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Peachy.
To all the great speakers, thank you. So nice to hear from you.
Recording stopped.
Yeah.